Everybody to episode 2 of Cast or Curse. We are back. I am
back.
Zeke, and you are Nurse. You are Blair. Say hello to the people who can't see your face.
Hi guys, we've been doing a fabulous job here, I guess, maybe.
Yes. For
know if
our
everyone
audio
agrees with that,
listeners, for our audio listeners today, we are actually uncoordinated matching black and red flannel. Completely
Beautiful.
unplanned, but all you lovely people watching the video version or watching us live, you get to see us in our glory. We did it.
We really did it. Yeah, of course.
It.
Same one brain cell said wear black and red flannel.
Yeah, it's so real. Holy.
Okay.
We have a lot to talk about today.
We got a lot to talk about.
Before we even get into that,
jump into it.
How was your time at Battle of BC? Like before we go into the bracket stuff. Yeah, did you have a good time?
I honestly, and this is my chance to shill Battle of BC, I guess, but Battle of BC every year is my favorite tournament. I've been going there since the first one. And if you guys have the chance to make it out to Canada for any tournament, I mean, Battle of BC and GOML are the two biggest options, and both are great, but Battle of BC really is like,
yep.
It's just like, it's the best. It's always amazing. I see so many great people. I get to meet so many great people, and the event is always so hype for some reason, whether it be upsets or the way that the bracket shakes out, or even some of the players that they threw out.
Yep.
Battle of BC always is a really good one. No,
we were talking about this a little bit last time. It's like they always try to fly out somebody that like really deserves the opportunity, and I love that. I think that that's something more events need to invest in instead of just like insert same 5 top players. I think it's really, really dope.
Yeah, they always fly out someone who's like capable of making upsets, and then someone also always goes on like a crazy run.
Yeah, that event might have a bit of a curse, one might say.
It's definitely margin. I mean, if you're a viewer, it's definitely blessed.
Oh, that's true. It is kind of peak though. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. This year was blessed. That's true.
The timeline was good, absolutely. And honestly, for both the Rivals and Ultimate, top 8s were both a ton of fun to watch, and kind of shook out the best way that they could have. So yeah. It was pretty awesome. I always say, like, if you can make it to an event in Canada like Battle of BC, you can't go wrong with it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. While you were there, I was at Dan's wedding bash, getting all spiffy with everybody, and God, the vibes were just immaculate. It wasn't the most perfect event by any means. It was very much just slapped together for the joy and the passion of the community. But God, did I have a great time getting to cast and play. And you had to cast a Battle BC, right?
Yeah, I did top 6 or top 24 to top 8 of Ultimates, and then I did top 4 of Rivals, which again like was really, really good. And that's even sick. Just on a personal note, the top 4 of Rivals I felt went very, very well. Every now and again you have a casting block that's like, oh, that was not my best, or for one reason or another, like something worked or didn't work. And I think I mean, I'm sure you can hear how scuffed my voice still is, but from getting rowdy. But
yeah,
I think top 4 of Rivals turned out about as well as it could have.
Oh yeah.
In terms of both like the gameplay and on the casting side of things, I was so happy with it. So very happy that ended up how it did. And man, casting is fun.
You're spitting. No, it's cool that we both got to cast twice. I think that's just really fun. I look forward to when we get to cast together, because it's been a fucking minute since we've done that not on my stream. So that'll be really fun. Oh God, GOML. Well, I'll apply if you tell me we can do it. Put us around one.
I actually confirmed for GOML on stream yesterday.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
I did not apply.
While I was streaming, my chat was like, "Are you going to GOML?" I was like, "Should I DM Max?" I was like, okay.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm going to be going to GOML. I don't know what exactly I'll be doing there, but another event that I like to get out and support and make sure that I'm at.
Let's go Canada.
Are you guys matching on purpose? The answer is no.
No, genuinely, no. It was an accident. I literally like grabbed this and just put it on when I walked over here. I did not know what she was wearing, but we're rocking it,
Okay. So we should let's get into things, because a lot of stuff has happened, and I guess if we're talking about Battle of BC and Dan's wedding, do you want to start there?
Yeah, let's do that. And, let's do that.
kind of recap how the bracket went, because I know we shouted out a few players that ended up making upsets.
Yes.
So I'm not too surprised that things shook out kind of the way that they did, but there was definitely some wild stuff that happened here.
Yeah, so I have not had the pleasure of catching up too much with this event yet. So I'm going to give you the reins on Battle of BC, especially on the Ultimate side. Please educate the people and me about what in God's name happened in this bracket.
Yeah, and so weirdly enough, going into this weekend, and this happened at the last Battle of BC as well, but you can kind of tell like when somebody's feeling it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like you can see them play in like top 32, top 64, and they'll just beat someone in a way that is like they're playing well.
Mm-hmm.
And Gluto did that at the pre-local for me.
Yeah.
And then kept doing it throughout bracket to by the time he got to this Mia set, I was like, he's going to win.
Who did he beat to get here? I got to see this because I know he was having a good weekend.
Yeah, he beat Tweak and Riddles, all in game 5, by the way.
Dude, all of his sets are crazy. What?
No, dude. And all weekend he was playing well.
That's
you
awesome.
Could tell. Like, it just came across in the way that he was playing. It was not like any finesse or people were playing bad. It just was like something was in the air for Gluto where you could tell he was going to win.
That's so great to hear.
If you watch the cast of Gluto Mia,
yeah,
you'll hear me say the first game, damn, Gluto's playing well.
It's really happy to see because I know he was having some hand issues and was trying to learn Pro GCC and like was having some issues with that earlier in the year and like last year. And it's just nice to see that it seems like he's just like back on like the good flow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Gluto winning is honestly like always a dub. I'm always a fan of that. He is so good at this game.
That's Fundy's timeline for sure.
Yeah. Team Fundies.
Team Fundies. TG Torgiri also went on a bit of a run.
Yes.
He beat Zomba in top 32.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
And then ended up beating Ken in top 24 before almost reverse 3-0ing Ouch, which was truly an insane set.
He could have changed the whole timeline. That's insane.
He absolutely could have. And then you'll see, again, like some upsets happening down here, but nothing too crazy. Onin taking it over Shuton, Monty over Light and Hertz. Again, like that's an upset, but as far as upsets go, like we know Monty's capable of that sort of thing.
Yeah, and Monty doing this like in losers round 2 of top 64, beating Light and knocking him out of the tournament is huge. Who put Light in losers in the first place?
You'll have to check. I don't remember.
Yeah. I'm very curious about that. It was
Raru.
It was Raru. Okay, you know what? That makes sense. Yeah,
Raru put Light into losers and then proceeded to lose to Akula and Zomba in like sadly like blowout sets. He got fucked.
I think that is like that's where like the bracket unlucky I kind of like thing comes in because those are really, really hard matchups and like I feel like he hasn't done well, or Raru hasn't done well against Akola in quite some time, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, I believe he beat him at some point, but I think it's been a while.
Yeah. Interesting.
And Zomba just plat camped him. It was pretty brutal.
Mm-hmm. That's the right thing to do.
Which is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then the run that everybody was watching was Ouch.
Yes.
Who actually, he lost to MK Leo in top 64. Yep. In a game 5, very close set, and then beat Ryuyo, TG, Mia in losers as well. Oh Big Boss, God. Apple Reviewer. Like, dude, he went on a fucking run. And then more in top 8. He beat Aquila, of all people.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, I mean, me and you have always known that Ouch is good, but like, not only did he beat all these Japanese players who have just been on fire lately, but he also beat Monty while he was on fire on his own run. Like, yeah, that's hard. That's so hard to do. Yeah.
And he lost to Syrup because he SD'd in game 5. It was really sad.
No.
It took the wind out of you.
That's tragedy.
He was putting the work to Syrup as well.
Damn.
Dude, again, like he just, when Ouch is confident and just turns off his brain in terms of like, just punish people, just get it done. Just like
time to clock in.
he enters a ridiculous flow state that very few people can replicate.
Yeah.
And it looks oppressive to play against.
Oh, absolutely. I think he is like a knower of like how to play oppressive Wolf and then find value off of it. And I think that is just, it's inspirational because especially in recent years or this year alone, like Wolf has slowly been like going up and up with players like Danny starting to like consistently top 64 and top 32 more events with what is that Japanese Wolf player's name who just won an event out there? Do you remember?
No, I didn't even know that a Japanese Wolf won.
Yeah, they've been doing really well out there as well. And then now just Ouch finally getting his moment. Like this has been like a long time coming for Ouch to get his opportunity. And you love to see it, honestly. You absolutely love to see it. And him ending at fourth? Yeah, that's beautiful. That is so inspirational.
And being able to do it at Battle of BC where the crowd was so on his side, it was just like, it was truly ridiculous. The crowd was losing their fucking minds. Like everyone was losing it. I mean, even if you watch the sets, I was losing it. That's half the reason my voice is gone.
That's so sick. But no, I definitely, anyone who likes Ultimate, this is definitely a tournament to go back and watch the VODs and re-experience this one. Cause this is once in a lifetime opportunity of like, America beat or NA beating Japan and then also EU winning the tournament. Like that's just crazy.
Yeah, it was truly a bizarre tournament.
Feels like 2014.
Yeah, and even like this top 8 had the potential to be so cursed.
Yeah.
There were 3 Steves in this top 8. And somehow it was the most exciting top 8 we've had in what feels like a year. Like it was actually ridiculous. And
that's
it just
so
like
funny.
At the end of the day, it really felt like you could throw anyone at Gluto in this tournament and he would not have lost.
That's beautiful. I love that it's like when you can just tell that like one of the greats is just like, it's their day. It's their day.
It literally, it was in the air. You could just tell by the way he was playing. Like when you watch him play against Mia and he's like whiff punishing Nairs, consistently with like Wario shit, you're just like, he's just gonna win, man. He's just gonna win.
Oh,
like,
I love
it's
that.
so hard to do consistently,
bless.
But he was just doing it. It was crazy.
That's so awesome. All right, is there anything else you want to talk about Ultimate, or should we hop on over to Rivals?
I think the biggest thing at Ultimate of note was just the Monty run, the Ouch run, the Gluto run, and then the low-key TG run as well.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
No, that's so sick. That is so sick. Definitely something that like everybody should go back and watch. There's some real gamers that showed up.
Yeah, and Hurt getting pretty unlucky matchup wise.
Oh yeah, true. And top of him getting banned.
The dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
He did illegally mod his console in the country of Japan. Unfortunately, that is illegal in Japan, guys. He's definitely doing the right thing by not attending, and we probably will talk about this very briefly. Because if he attends, he might legitimately get arrested. That's a real thing. So I get it. It's kind of dumb, but I don't blame him for playing it safe because they take that stuff really seriously out there.
Yeah, and from what I hear, the legal precedent is a little different there than it is here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is 100% illegal to modify your games on consoles in Japan, to my understanding. So, like, that being a thing that he did on stream is unfortunately, like, this is the consequence. And they didn't, like, do the ban. I believe it was like him and his sponsor agreed to have him like step away for a period of time in response to that, to kind of show like, hey, like I am accepting a consequence.
Yeah, Kagaribi technically would have let him attend.
Yeah.
He chose not to.
Yeah, and I think that's the big piece of information that a lot of people are not understanding. It's not that Kagaribi and the TOs or anything like that, or Nintendo like jumped on at him or anything. It's like he is taking it upon himself to step away after being approached about the fact that he did that.
Yeah, it's just it's very frustrating and it's sad because obviously Kagaribi is the biggest event ever.
Yeah. Oh, we have lots to talk about that later.
He's in the running for #1 this year.
Yep.
Even with like, 9th at Battle of BC, like he had good losses.
Yeah.
So missing an event like that, especially when it's in your backyard, sucks.
Oh,
and over something like the delay mod, it feels fucking stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel for the Japanese. They don't get any delay mod or training mode. They're still
And that's
cooking
shit
us.
in Japan.
And they're
Yeah,
still
shit in
cooking us.
Japan.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, let's talk about Rivals at Battle BC. And
Rivals.
you casted quite a bit of this. Is that right?
Yeah, I had, I think, 3 Rivals blocks throughout the weekend.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I did pools. I did some of top 32 with Lentini, where we talked about VeggieTales.
That's
and
awesome.
Then I also did top 4.
What's your favorite VeggieTales episode?
My favorite VeggieTales episode is the one where the lying weed comes after them.
I'm a big David and Goliath enjoyer. I think they nailed it on that one with the giant vegetable. Like, that's just unmatched. And he's like got the funny voice. Like, I love it.
I'm also a big pirates who don't do anything enjoyer.
Ooh, that's a classic. That is a classic.
That's
I love
that.
I'm saying. Okay. So, Rivals 2, top. What is this exactly? What
It's
part?
top 32.
Top 32 is what we're looking at right now. So, up to top 32, like just as this winners round one starts, I don't think there were any upsets.
I don't think there were any upsets.
Yeah, but
which is
then,
ridiculous. but then
the
beast.
very quickly things started to get crazy. I know there were some really banger sets, but the first upset
Hyperflame was technically an upset.
Really? Over who?
I believe it was at
Let's
the very
check.
least.
Oh, it was over Evil
definitely
Nardwar.
was.
That's the
Yeah.
one. I forgot that Evil Nardwar
So
didn't do
we
great.
called that, did we not?
I think we did.
Last week, I think we called that.
Yeah, because I know we mentioned that like the seating was kind of funky. He didn't get seated super well, but I know that he hasn't been competing nearly as much. So
Yeah.
that definitely does not surprise me that he got upset by Hyperflame. And Hyperflame is definitely gaming. Like, he is super grinding right now. He's been going to a lot of stuff, and he's very good. He's very good. And that carried over in his set with ZB going to game 5 and not clutching it out. But I know that that one was very, very close.
Yeah, in terms of like the very exciting sets, at least on the winner side of things, Rangunchu versus Cake was a true banger.
Oh, before we even get there, though,
went the distance.
Before we talk about winners quarterfinals to get in the top 8, I want to talk about my boy Ganger winning 3-1 over Cheesy Potato, the back air believer of all time. Actually, dude, that set was kind of a blowout. Like,
we also called this.
Yeah, I very comfortably believe that was going to be the case. He has been feeling really good and doing really well, and just
he's great.
Has only been doing better and better, I think, at every event he's gone to at this point. Like, I'm very, very happy to see the progress that he has made in this game. And it's so cool to see. I know he's dabbled a bit in a lot of other different games and different genres, and it's just cool to see somebody who's just got like the brain for like, I want to get good. It's inspiring, honestly.
Ganger's sick. My flex for this bracket is I'm undefeated versus Ganger in the Ditto. That's my flex. Ganger beats everyone that I can't, but I can just beat Ganger, so that's fine.
That's awesome. Okay.
Well, good.
Let's God, you always glazing yourself. God bless you.
I have to. The people
you gotta get the wins.
It.
You gotta go with the wins.
You know
somehow
how many times
after,
I got clipped on Twitter this week?
I was
you
just
know
gonna
how many times I got clipped this week? I need something. I'm in the top 100, but I feel like I'm ass.
all you West Coasters and down Southers, please be sure to queue up when you see /nurse on twitch.tv live on ranked, because there is nothing funnier than Nurse when she is going, God bless you, Blair. You literally just like, you did something on stream the other day that drove me crazy. Chat, viewers, listeners, she said, how do I beat the Rano back here? And I kid you not. I kid you not. She dashed forward and jumped 3 times while saying it, and it was the funniest moment that I wish I clipped, because she was crashing out as she's just jumping in as Olympia and being like, this back air is broken, and just getting stuffed over and over, like, oh my god, what do you do? But okay, enough about bullying you. Let's look at this winners quarterfinals. So we had Cake Rangunchu, which was a banger, absolutely a banger.
Really great set.
Probably one of the best. Yeah, probably one of the best of the whole event, honestly.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. And then Beastly starting his run, kind of
Yeah.
taking it over Spargo.
Yep.
Man, he looked good this weekend.
I'm so proud of him. He has been really, really practicing a lot and studying and just doing his darndest to prepare for this event. And it showed that that first set with Spargo, like he was definitely nervous, but I think that win was so huge to like help push this entire like run that he has throughout this. Then Marlon over Soul. I did not get to watch this set, or I think I briefly did. Do you remember how that one went? Like how close it was?
It sadly was not that close. There were opportunities where Soul could have won games, but it never felt like Marlon was not going to win it.
Yeah,
it's what I'll say.
No, and I think that's expected, especially in the matchup too. I think I'm assuming he played Orcane the entire time.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and then
he played Orcane the whole event.
That's crazy. Well, no, he played one. He played one game of Raster.
He played one game of Raster versus Bullets. That was the only time.
No, it was against Bagel.
It was against Bagel. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. Yeah, you had to say it. Yeah, he
played one game of Raster. Yeah.
And it was literally every time he hit Bagel, and he was like, "What the fuck?" And then the last set of winners quarterfinals, we have ZB then played Ganger and absolutely locked in the trio over that. But when we head on down into losers, this is when things start getting a little crazy, because we didn't mention that Elkies got knocked into losers in the winners round 1 from Seoul, and so she kind of dropped down here and I think knocked out a couple people that like had a chance to like potentially mess with the bracket. Most notably being Dolphin Brick, who actually attended, and Bullets. But had they made it past, they would have had to play Ron.
That would have been tough.
Yeah.
I think for both of them, that would have been tough.
Yeah.
I know. Again, this like wasn't too upset heavy. The most notable one is Ganger over Pikmon.
Yes.
Which again was a great set. But yeah, I think Rivals 2, at least as it is right now, is pretty upset proof. When you get to a certain level, you can kind of tell who has been grinding. And the other person who made it pretty far was one Outcast.
Yeah, who actually got an upset over Nbad, which was very surprising. And he is very good at that matchup.
Nbad's unreal. Yeah, I got to play him a little bit.
Yeah.
Did we play? I feel like we did.
What, Nbad?
I feel like I played it, not like on stream, but I feel like I got a couple friendlies in with Nbad.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised at all. He's always fiending to play the game. But I was very surprised by that upset. So huge respect to Outcast. That's a great win to have. Very unexpected. But the other, so you mentioned, Ganger taking over game 5 over Pikmon, but the big one, the set that really, really mattered in this part of bracket was Spargo's run back with Cheesy Potato after Hungry Games. And against all parts of the universe, every god trying to manifest Cheesy winning this set, Spargo did clutch it out in game 5 to make it into top 8 against all odds. Yeah, that was a set. That was a set.
Spargo's got the clutch gene, man.
Oh, he really does. It's not fair. It's actually just not fair. Unfortunately, I believe Cheesy threw that set just a little bit on.
Unlucky. The paddles weren't working.
The paddles just the foot pedal wasn't locked in.
The
it hitched.
Foot pedal.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. Love you, Cheesy. Love you, Cheesy. All right, but let's talk about this top 8 though, because this is where shit starts getting. I'm gonna use the word freaky. We're gonna call it freaky.
Oh man, Spargo just can't fucking lose. Like, it was actually ridiculous.
His set with Ron Gunshoe was so stressful to watch on stream with Stango and gang, and like me and Stango were just crashing out on loop with that set. Holy moly. Every time, like I mentioned this when we were watching it, and it was like this set is literally going to be like the mental stamina check for Ron. Can he recompose himself for when he like fucks on Spargo and then Spargo just doesn't care?
Just wins anyway.
Just literally drops down and zero deaths him like immediately.
Like, yeah, that's what the whole set felt like.
Yeah.
It felt like Ron dominating into losing. It was ridiculous.
What really showed and like was so rough is like he would get so many openings, but he would just never get the closer. He would have to like get like two to three more neutral wins to get the kill, where Spargo would just be like, bam, 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 I'm gonna down air you. And Ron would be like, oh my God, I'm dead. Like,
no,
over and over, literally like, no, I'm dead. And it's just like, I get it.
Spargo did just not miss tippers. It was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, most people don't know Spargo also has the invisible foot pedal that lets him tipper. It's
that
actually
lets you tipper
unfair.
whenever he presses it. Yeah,
it's the up tilt. It's up to I don't know. I don't get it. He's so good at it. Just like
he
good.
Always tippers.
Yeah, but
he's really good at finding fair one too, which is not the easiest tipper to land.
Yeah. Another set in losers that we'll talk about, the other side, was a Mystery Soul getting to play Gengar, and they have played each other quite a few times.
From the same
now.
region.
Yeah. And poor Gengar just 3-0, but it was a little close at times. Like
I've talked to Gengar about this matchup in particular.
Yeah.
Especially because I've played Mystery Soul a couple times and do a little bit better than Gengar does.
Yeah.
I just like on a matchup thing specifically, but I really like Gengar wants to play the game, and that's unfortunate in this matchup. It's like that's all there is to it, right? Like Gengar really wants to interact with Soul, and there's a degree of that that's great when you get the opening, but there's too many times in neutral where Soul just opens him up, and then Fleet does pretty good against Claren off stage. So
yeah. No, I think you absolutely can edge guard, and I think in that patch too, like Soul was eating really good. He was really comfortable with it, and you could see it in his punish game and his positioning, and it definitely carried through this tournament with him making it through his top 8 and winning that set in a very hard matchup. But he unfortunately had to play the loser of Cake Beastly.
The Beast.
Yeah, the Beastly himself.
The Beast.
There was definitely a game. He got a game. But I will say that it was very dominantly in Beastly's favor, I think, throughout that set. It was very 100%. Much just like, it was a huge, huge punish game diff, I think. That, like, it wasn't player-wise. I think it was just significantly simpler for Beastly to find his openings and finishers together to just run away with stocks and get leads. And Soul had to read him so hard to even it out, and he did it quite a few times, so I was very impressed with his play.
Being a light character versus Zetterburn fucking sucks. It really sucks, because you'll die at 90 consistently. There's no like whatever percentage of smash kills is around when you'll be dying every stock, and so the later you get, the harder that becomes to deal with. It's tough. I think Zetterburn is insanely consistent right now.
He's really good. The Zetterburn champ is very good right now, and has only gotten better. We'll talk about that. Yeah, he
got buffed significantly.
But on the other side of winners was Marlon Zeeby, which I think everyone has also been looking forward to that set alongside the Cake set. It's been quite a bit since they've played. Not his greatest performance from Zeeby. No. I think game 1, it's like he started really strong, and then he messed up a kill confirm, and then the spiral began, and it just never, like, we start a game, he started strong, and the spiral would happen, or he'd get a stock deficit and the spiral would happen. It was just very unfortunate, because I feel like it was a very winnable set. It really was. Yeah. But he just...
Marlon's tech facing is so good, and it's just really hard, especially as Craig, to just, you don't even get to play the game, really. I mean, on the losers quarters side of things, I don't know if you saw this game. I've never felt bad for Craig in my life, but Margo straight up finessed ZV.
Dude.
Like, so hard.
Bam.
Game 4 was highway robbery.
I was literally at Olive Garden, just rocking my phone it was the post tournament and everything, like we were watching, and I was like, Oh my god, the best set in the universe is happening right now. The greatest set. We've all waited for this moment. It is the greatest skill check of all time, and it was ZB Spargo. And holy moly, again, the universe did everything in its power to try let the Crag win, and Spargo just said, nah, it's chill, I got this.
Down
and
tilt
just
neutral B, baby.
insane. Like, mad respect to Spargo, because there were so many little moments where he legitimately was getting jump scared by stuff, and like ZB just could not. I feel like he just couldn't hold the lead again, and I think that's where things started to fall apart. It's hard.
He was though, man. Like he died literally at 66% to down tilt neutral B.
Yeah, well, you know,
Off of platform. Like,
yeah,
what are
you
we
know,
doing?
Yeah, you know, like the
Should
down
I
tilt
hit, I
champion
guess?
is really good, you know.
Yeah, ZV got cooked on this one. It was that
Yeah.
was a kill confirmed difference, sadly.
Yeah, no, this one is interesting. I don't really know how I feel about it. I definitely want to see ZB play him again, because I feel like getting to play Spargo the first time, you're like, okay, I get it. You literally just don't feel fear at all. And that's hard to be like, oh, you're gonna just land on me again with the button.
You are not scared of this Crag fella.
Yeah, and it just doesn't matter what character it is. He's just like, I'm gonna scrap it out. He's so down to scrap it out, and I think that is intimidating to people, because they're like, you're supposed to be scared. I've just hit you 3 times in disadvantage, but he's ready to come down and try to down air you again.
Yeah, and his punish is really solid. It's not like flashy, but it just works.
Yeah, 100%. He keeps it simple.
He does.
Go ahead, though.
Which I like, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the winners finals was the set that everyone was waiting for. And holy shit, if you watched it, it was funny.
I did watch the lovely Cake versus Marlin set, and
the fabled dash dance.
Dude. Oh. Just the hardest part about this is, like,
I could feel you getting disheartened as I watched it in BC. Like, I was like, no.
I was really sad about the fact that, like, we did some prep for Marlin before Genesis, but, like, the thing that we kind of accepted is, like, it's really hard to get Orcane EXP, and thankfully he got to play against Iota at Hitfall, post taking a break after Genesis.
Great, yeah.
That was a good set, and it got us some good information. But Marlin is just a different beast with that character, and it's very much fighting Marlin. It's not as much fighting Orcane in a lot of ways, and I think he finally kind of got the pieces together near the end, but had a bit of an oopsie on a really, really important game. What is that, 4?
Yeah, it was game 4.
And dropped it and got really scared of losing and lost. Yeah. And it is a lesson of playing to win versus playing to not lose. There is a big thing that a lot of competitors, even at the tippy top, like someone like Cake, can fall into, and it's like, if you get too scared of losing and you worry about the fact that you're about to lose, it will bring out the worst in you. You have to play the game and, like, win by playing the game, not be afraid of, like, the if I don't do this, or I have to do this, or I'm gonna lose. The minute that little creature in your brain says that, you have to catch yourself.
You're cooked. Yeah, I mean, because he easily could have down smash and just won that game and pushed it to game 5 and all that good stuff. And it's tough. And especially in a moment like that where you're like, oh, I win.
Yeah.
And then you flub it, your brain kind of goes to, like, fuck. Like, how do I redeem this? And you could definitely see that happen. And I was talking about this with Fabs on the cast, but we saw a little bit of uncharacteristicness from Cake this weekend. Yeah. Especially in the top 4 of him, like, missing ledge punishes. I know he hits like 99% of the time. Yeah. And it was just, like, forcing people to recover high, forcing people into bad situations where he could easily just, like, jump off ledge down air, jump off ledge fair, whatever. And he just didn't do it multiple times. Like, it was tough.
No, it is unfortunate, and I think he learned his lesson from the event, and me and him chatted a
The
little bit
hard way.
about some
Yeah.
plans going forward. But I think he is still very excited to keep playing Rivals. He's going to be beginning his own stream journey as well in the very near future, so that's going to be really fun to just
Oh,
get to see
sick.
some Cake Assault content, and yeah, I think we're gonna get a lot more Cake, and we're gonna get another opportunity for him to play Marlon for sure, and it's gonna be a great set. But great stuff to Marlon for winning that set. He popped off, and he absolutely deserved it, 100%.
Yeah, he played well.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And it's just, again, like, we know what Cake is capable of. And even if he didn't show it 100% this weekend, you can't be at your 100% best every single day, every
Yep.
single week. You know what I
100%.
mean?
Yep.
And the stuff that Cake was missing, stuff like ledge punishes, you know
They
how
matter.
easy that is to fix? You know what I mean? Like, it's so nice that is what the problem was, as
Yeah.
opposed to like my neutral is bad.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that is so much easier to fix.
Exactly. Yep.
In terms of like, can we watch the VODs? And like, yeah, he did it versus Marlon, he did it versus Beastly. Stuff that could have just been like back airs off the ledge for the game.
Yep.
Just missed it. But like, brother, we all know he's gonna hit it next time. We all know.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, just until the next event, and then that's when he's just gonna show everybody like, hey, I am still Cake Assault. Like, do not forget. So I look forward to it very much. But to get back to the beast, he gets his run back, or rather, Spargo gets the run back with Beastly after Beastly was the one who put him in the losers, and that was kind of a blowout. I'm not gonna lie.
He fucked him.
It was. I think that was a big thing. That was like a mix of many things. It was him losing to Cake Assault. Was very much just like, I understand what I'm doing poorly and what will now elevate me. It was a very quick learning experience of it, not only like from his own mistakes, but he told me like watching Cake lose to Marlon as well, and like all of this, and then beating Soul, and it's just like really locking in, really brought it all together and allowed him to just have this massive boost in confidence. And like, wow, actually inspirational gameplay from him. Not only did he beat Spargo 3-0, he is the first Zetterburn to win in post-launch against Cake Assault. Game 5.
And it was nice the way he ended it too, was reading a jump with a fair into the smoke. Like it felt poetic.
Yeah.
He just knew. He just knew.
It was meant to be. And
it was nice.
I will say, like, I've mentioned this quite a few times, but it's so fascinating now. Like, I remember coaching him in Smash 4 when he was just like a kid, like literally just some kid who played Fox. And it's so awesome seeing him just improve in so many different games and going outside of his comfort genre, and just, he loves this game so much. I see him play every day. And that is awesome.
He's grinding.
He's grinding. He loves this game, genuinely. And I think that is inspirational, that like just sheer grinding and talking and just exploring the game and coming at it from a perspective of not someone, like, he played Melee a little bit, but like not with a Melee or PM or Rivals 1 background in any capacity, to beat Cake Assault. That's huge. That is genuinely huge. And the last time this even happened was at LMBM, but Spargo could not clutch it out. And I think that's huge. Like, that's a big thing to prove here, is like, Cake has time and time again won these game 5s and clutched, even against the clutch master Spargo. That like Beastly doing it is so impactful, and being able to catch Cake fresh off the Marlon loss, I think was a big part of that too. Whereas like, Beastly's confidence was to the moon, and Cake was not happy.
No, he visibly not happy.
No, not at all. Not at all. But that's part of bracket. That's what it is at the end of the day.
100%. Yeah, and I think the other part of it too is like, every now and again you see people go on runs like this, and it's kind of like that underdog boost of someone who's like, okay, I've way exceeded my expectations for how I do in bracket.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Like, let's just go. And it's that kind of unbridled confidence of like, I'm not even supposed to be here. So let's just like make it happen. Let's make the best of it. I feel like Beastly really embodied that kind of like we ball mentality. And I think Zetterburn as the character rewards that kind of gameplay in terms of just like having confidence, being able to hit the confirms. And like to his credit, Beastly was not missing confirms. When that stuff was opened up to him, like every single time he had it.
Yep. Now I will say though, heading into grand finals against Marlon, I think is when he definitely started to burn out a little bit. I think that was where he met his match.
I never made it this far. Yeah.
And I think like having talked to him a little bit, like prior to the event, he was just like, I want to top 8. Like that was the big thing. He's like, I'm gonna top 8. That's the goal. Especially after they oopsied and seeded him a little low at first and fixed that.
14. You know how it is.
You know, it happens. But like that's okay. They fixed it, you know, and he made it here. He proved everybody that it's like this guy is really good. He's got some really good. He has some of the best wins and now has literally the best win in the game over Cake. And yeah, that's nuts. That's just nuts. And I think the next time he fights Marlon, he's got a plan. And I think he will do much, much better. It went to game 5. It was really, really close, but he choked a lot of moments there of just a little bit of unfamiliarity, and I think a little bit of a holy moly, I've played so many sets that were really, really hard. And yeah, but great stuff to him.
It's hard to last that long in bracket if you're not used to it, especially at like major events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you've been like crawling your way through the depths, and like Beastly had a lot of sets. So I'm excited to see Beastly come back and kind of show what he can do. And even like with the last patch going the way it is, which I know we're going to talk about a little bit,
yes.
like if there was going to be a time to do it, it would be right now.
Yeah, no, he is eating real good. But yeah, congratulations to Marlon for winning this event. While sick with whatever that was all going on.
Huge shout out to D/Nurse for giving Marlon a ibuprofen.
Yeah, it's your fault. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so funny. He did that interview where he's like, I'm sick as hell. And I went and found him after because I had to carry ibuprofen in my purse. And I'm like, brother, you need some ibuprofen. And he was like, yeah. He DM'd me after the event. It was like, thank you so much. I'm like, I got you, man. No
Reminder,
problem.
guys, always bring ibuprofen, bring your airborne, bring a face mask.
There's no reason to not have
event. It's so cheap. Please, guys, do it at every event. That is very, very important. I think it's the last of Battle of BC. What a sick event. I did not get to watch the majority of it, but it sounds like you had a great time.
Like I said, it's hard not to have a great time. Yeah. And a bunch of people came and like introduced themselves to me, and I got to meet a bunch of people, and I was pretty busy all weekend, honestly, insofar as like commentating and meeting people and playing here and there. It was awesome. Yeah. I got this new controller. Huge shout out.
Oh, ooh.
Check this out. It was hella expensive.
Is it a fob?
If you can see, yeah, it is. It has this like gold and blue sheen.
I definitely can't tell on camera.
Or less than you can't tell on the camera, but it's not just black.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
So that's been nice. I can baby dash now, which is sick. And,
that's so cool. Congrats.
Yeah.
Now you get to
Congrats
cheat.
To me. It's big.
Well, who did you get the controller from?
The shell is from Control and Color.
Okay.
And then the fob was from the guy who was there.
Oh.
You know how it is?
Nice. God bless. Okay. Well, shout outs to the vendors. Y'all are killing it. No, I'm always a big appreciator of that. I recently also upgraded my controller. I got the emerald green, whatever this is called.
Oh, I like it.
It's really cute. And then I got some custom buttons and some ergo triggers. I am stupid and I do not have a fob. And we're not going to address that any further. But I have my Ultimate GC coming eventually. So that's the only reason I have not dropped the 200 on the fob.
Let me show you this abomination.
Oh, I know your controller. Your old controller
this is going to suck for the audio listeners. But this controller, for you guys who can see it, has two shells that are different sizes. Because one of them's a melee, one of them's an ultimate shell. So the two halves are different sizes. It's made up of the working parts of 5 different controllers that were broken. It is the Frankenstein of controllers. It's a piece of shit, and so I'm happy to move on from that guy.
I remember when the Rivals beta happened and we played, and you were like, hold up, my A button on this controller is broken. I'm gonna go get another board. And then you were like, oh, fuck, no, the C stick on this board is broken. Let me get another board. I'm just sitting there for like 30 minutes while you're trying to remember which one is like what's fucked up on each one. And you just have this abomination of a controller. I have definitely been there, though. I'm just like, I love this controller. I don't want to change it. And yeah, I'm glad you're done with that mini game in your life.
He was beast. The controller's beast.
For our live chat, for reference, guys, I do have a snapback thing that is like set and like is calibrated and all that. I'm not freeballing OEM, I promise. But yeah, we're doing our darndest. But the next event we have to talk about is Dan's Wedding Bash. This event, like I said, was all vibes. It was so fun.
Yeah.
And there were some crazy upsets that happened in this bracket.
Zeus!
And the big thing that mattered at this event too is that this was Zeus to Goose's first official like stacked offline event, because he went to, I forget the name of the event at the college near him, but I don't remember being super stacked besides Jorg attending that. But I don't think they got to play. But this event having Toothbrush, Jorg, Archangel, Lucius, Yoda Cage, and Zeus, and Dexter and Sandstorm, like all in attendance, was a sight to behold. I had a lovely time at this event, and I got to cast twice. I casted round 1 of Rivals, and I got to do top 6, and I got to interview my lovely friend, Mr. Zeus. That was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. I got lovely. I finally got photos. Oh my God. Nurse knows this. I have been to so many majors and so many tournaments, and I'm like a cryptid. I'm never in any photos. I'm just
like a cryptid is crazy.
I'm also like the guy who's like, oh, I'll take the picture, like of like the group photo. I do it all the time, and I don't mind being that guy. But it's so funny. I'm like really bad about it. We're like, I'll take my own selfies, but I don't like post stuff usually like that. That's usually just for me, you know. But the funniest one of like this example is there is one photo of me from LMBM. Do you know what it is?
No,
It is.
I didn't even know there was a photo of you.
There is one photo of me, and there's a photo of Cake smiling and holding his trophy, hugging somebody, and it's me, and it's the fucking back of my head, because the picture is over my shoulder, and it's a great photo. I love that picture of him. He is like genuinely happy, but it's like, oh my God, there's no other picture of me from that event. And it was just so funny that it's like, this is how it's manifested. And shout outs to, oh my God, I forget their name. I'm so sorry. I think it's like Stay On or Always or something like that. But they took a ton of photos of me, and I love them. And huge shout outs to them.
Yeah.
But to get back to the bracket, did you get to watch any of this or no?
I didn't. I was busy.
So, out the gate, Jorg beat Toothbrush 3-1. These are two players that I've had the lovely pleasure of coaching. Jorg being a Maple from Pennsylvania, and Toothbrush on the Rano. And holy moly, he won that set. He like actually won that set, and it was probably the best I've ever seen him play. That was good stuff, and I'm really proud of him. As we go down, another big upset happens.
Yeah, Yoda beat Lucius.
Yoda Cage does beat Lucius, and that was
Rip
off stream.
Rano, man.
Yeah, the Ranos did not have a good run at this event. I won't lie. As we go down into losers as well, they both lose in the qualifier for top 6. Lucius
Jam 1-3.
Yeah, Lucius was able to beat Sandstorm, who had a crazy losers run. making it all the way to losers round 2, getting ninth, I believe. But
Yeah, Sandstorm's a gamer.
he is. He's good at so many games. It's crazy.
He truly is.
Yeah, I know he had some keyboard issues there because he is still crazy and running on the keyboard. But
That's insane.
yeah, right. But Dexter, also going on a crazy losers run, decided that it was his day to finally be recognized as one of the great Clarins. And holy moly, that set with Lucius was really good. He played that very well and immediately kind of set the tone for the event. That was like, this is the Clarin tournament, because in winter semis, Archangel went to game 5 and took it over Jorg in Clarin versus
crazy.
Maple.
Dude, what a weekend for Clarin.
Yep.
5 Clarins and 2 top 8s is nuts.
Insane. Like, it was just one of those moments that, like, I'm not surprised. And I don't think you're very surprised. But it just hasn't happened. It just didn't happen of just like, boom, Clarins everywhere. And everyone was like, oh my God.
Oops, all Clarin.
Yeah. Oops, all Clarin is so real.
Oops, all Clarin.
Yeah, that was awesome. But another interesting set did happen here in winter semis. And I do actually want to talk about this because I talked with a lot of players at the event about this. And it was Yoda Cage versus Zeus. And Yoda had one advantage over everyone else in this event. And it's a little silly sounding, but he is one of the only people who has played Zeus in a set offline. And it was at that college event that Zeus went to a couple weeks ago.
The experience.
It is actually, no, it's real, because Zeus does have a play style and does have a way that he kind of goes about it. And at the start of game 1, or no, I don't remember if it was game 1 or game 3. I think it was game 3. Yoda had a huge lead and very much had a chance to bring this set back, but Zeus super clutched it out. And big props to Yoda Cage, because this was his weekend for sure.
Yeah, he's someone who's been doing like pretty consistently well.
Yeah.
I think another one of those ultimate players that we see like creep into things.
Yep.
And kind of, cook a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
With the Bowser Jr., or in this case, who is he playing in this game?
Maple.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, I think he's someone I expect to do well. Just as someone who's like been in the grind for a while and has been a tournament player for a while.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I know people I expect to be there, but
yeah. And I know he's been absolutely loving this game too. It is just the biggest thing with this event is just like, you could just tell everyone had a good time and we just played good rivals. Like, that was sick. Oh, I didn't mention one thing. My first set of the day was against the Zeus de Goose, and it was also his first set. My round 1 did not appear, just like Hitfall, and it was, oops, I play top seed right out the gate.
Oops, all Zeus. Yeah.
And I will say, I was this close to winning game 1 on my life. It was super, super close. Last stock, dropped to confirm. That was really important. And like almost killed him at like 70. It was really close. I was playing Zetterburn, by the way. The Zetterburn guy is quite good. And there was like a feeling, when you sit down next to somebody that's really good and you like almost beat them and you feel like the aura of the like, oh brother, no, I'm not gonna lose this set. And game 2, he fucked on me. Oh my God, the fastest 3 stock I've ever been hit by. It was a great set though, and I'm happy for him. He was quite nervous. But I literally looked at him and I was like, that was a pretty good warm up, huh? And he was like, yeah, no, I'm ready.
He's like, don't talk to me. That's crazy.
And I was like, fuck, when he 3-stocked me. Oh, it was so funny. It was so good. But yeah, Zeus guy, he's really good. And that reflects throughout this bracket, as we'll take a peek again here.
We got 30 in winners. I didn't even know that.
So in winners finals, though, Archangel super duper reminded everybody it is a Clarin weekend.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, the games were kind of close, but Archangel like definitively won that set in winners finals.
Interesting. And sorry, who does JM1-3 play?
JM1-3
is pretty big upset.
Yeah, is a Crag from Pennsylvania, I believe.
Interesting.
Or no, they might be Pittsburgh. I know it's somewhere around there, but they're here in tri-state. they had a great run as well, getting knocked into losers a little earlier on before top 6, but getting the 3-1 upset over Yoda Cage like pretty definitively, like that was a big confidence booster. And JM1 was a very, very fun player to watch. They were the one who actually knocked out Toothbrush to get into top 6.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's a big win. And they popped off, and they were very expressive.
No.
They were very expressive, and they
Was
were
it a good
locked in.
pop-off?
Yeah, it was actually a good pop off. It was a good pop off.
Okay, I'll give it up.
Yeah, but he was killing it that event. And then the other side of losers quarters was Dexter taking it over Jorg quite dominantly. I will say, having spoke to Jorg, his win over Toothbrush and then playing the really close set with Archangel and like having to wait a bit before playing again. Before he started playing, he was like, dude, I'm so tired. I'm not.
It's tough.
I'm not. He's never been here before. It was literally like, I've never had to do this. And it was like a very big learning experience for him. But I'm very proud of him. He has been so committed to the like, I want to be one of the greats at this game. And it's just slowly but surely climbing up, and get every event he goes to, I feel like he gets another win or plays a really, really good set with somebody very good and shows everybody like, hey, like I exist and you need to respect me in this bracket.
That's sick. It's nice to see people on the come up.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of someone else who is definitely decided to sneak into this bracket and remind everyone that they're very good, that is Dexter, another Ultimate and Smash 4 player.
We talked about this though.
Yes, we did.
We definitely talked about this last week in terms of like, we expect Dexter to do pretty well and to be someone who can make upsets. And I feel like he showed up in a big way this weekend, just like given the bracket path that he have and just kind of capitalizing on the situation to make it all the way to top 3.
Yeah, and being the one to try to hold Zeus down in losers. But I will say that was very definitively in Zeus's court, that set. And I forget if I talked to him before that set or before grand finals, but I went up to him after I watched him lose that losers finals, and I grabbed his face. And I was like, you are going to stop doing this. You are going to win neutral from the corner. You are going to stop dash attacking out of the corner. You are going to stop full hopping at the Clarin. And he was like, yes, I can do it. I can do it. And holy moly, did he do it. And he, 6-0's Archangel, clean, like clean. And it was a beautiful sight to behold. Holy moly. That was a moment of like, where you have the guy who's just been kind of struggling a little bit, wasn't playing their best, and then it just like click and they're back. And it was like, I love that guy. I love watching him play this game, and he gets it. And we talked about this last episode, but I kind of want to touch on it again. It is just so fascinating seeing someone with no top level background who just gets this game and loves the character they play and just continues to dominate. And I cannot wait to see him play at EVO. He is completely registered now and locked in for EVO. Like, that's going to be the tournament. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is interesting because that definitely exists, right? That degree of, oh, this game just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you have like experience necessarily or not, it makes it easier to hop into when that like the mechanics side of things and playing neutral and winning an advantage and all of those things just kind of work how you expect them to.
Yep.
It makes the game flow a lot better. And it's nice to see someone who has that kind of perspective about the game also put in the work to improving and getting the sets in and going to tournaments where possible, because that's where like great players are made.
Yeah. And it's, I've used this word a few times already today, but like it's actually inspirational that like anyone can be a top player. Genuinely, anyone can be a top 100%. Player. And it's something that I preach a lot. There's so many players that are like, oh, you got to be talented, you got to be born and blah, blah, blah. You got to just like have the right friends. And it's like, guys, he's just a funny goose. And
he's just a goose.
He's just dominating us. Like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? He is so good, and I'm very excited to see his future with this game as he just continues to flourish. But that was oh wait, I have one more thing.
Okay.
So for our audio listeners, I am holding a 3D printed Chaos Emerald. The theme of this event was like Sonic the Hedgehog theme. The trophy was a Chaos, like all the Chaos Emeralds and and it was like a ring that he won. Zeus won.
Yeah.
But for doubles received a pair of Chaos Emeralds. And in my hand here, I hold the silver for the pair for the winners of the Rivals 2 doubles event that happened with basically nobody. That was won by Max Toothbrush and Jorg, who forgot his trophy, so I won dubs. And it's now forever being displayed on my stream setup here in the background with my rival stuff. We forgot there were trophies. So like even on the interview and everything, we totally forgot. Everyone was so tired and so busy with the whole event. We forgot. And so afterwards we were getting them all handed out and everyone's like, where's Jorg? And we were like, oh my God, he left.
He's long gone.
He left. So I call him on Discord while he's in his carpool. And he's like, what? And I turn on the video and go, look, dude, I won dubs. Oh my God. He's like, dude, give me my trophy. I'm like, dude.
You're like, it's mine.
I won dubs. Me and Toothbrush won dubs. And he goes, dude, what's the next tournament you're going at? And I'm like, I don't know. Bye. And I just hang up.
See you.
Oh man, what a beautiful moment that was.
You did him so dirty.
I did him a little dirty. And I could not resist. So I won dubs at Dan's Wedding Bash with the person I've vowed to never team with for my entire life, and that is Toothbrush. I will never team with him.
I love that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The knowers know, and that's all I'll say. I will never team with him in a tournament. But me and Zeus wanted to enter dubs, but I couldn't do it because I knew it would mess up our casting time because like nobody entered. No. So we would have definitely won. And huge shout outs to Torna for not showing up, by the way, because he would have teamed with Zeus and they would have won dubs. For sure.
Huge shout outs. And then you would have got the trophy.
And none of this would have happened. Jorg wouldn't have been bullied. Torna, you could have saved this. It could have been you, man. But yeah, that was Dan's Wedding Bash. It was a beautiful event. Shout outs to Dan, the GOAT himself. I'm glad that this like fundraiser for his wedding could happen. And he's taking feedback for the tournament and wants to continue doing more events still, which is great to hear. Yeah, I will definitely do my best to be at the next one. I
actually know Dan from back in the day.
Yeah. It was funny.
We were on the same like sponsored team, quote unquote.
Yeah. Oh my God. I went up to him when I got to the event. I haven't seen him since like Smash 4, right? Yeah. And I was like, hey man, like super happy to be here. And he was like, please remind me who you are. And I said my name and he was like, oh my God. He popped off so hard when I was like, oh, it's Coach Zeke. It's Coach Zeke. And he was so happy that I was there. That's the moments like that just make me feel so good. And that it's just like I'm just a guy. I'm just this blob that just like showed up. I just showed up. And it's just, people are so happy about it. It's, I don't know. It's surreal. It makes me real happy.
Sounds like the event was a vibe. And just before we move on, quick shout out to Jackal for winning the ultimate side of things at that event. And the Wolf Weekend continues. Yeah.
Wait. There is a little piece of lore about that that's important. For our video watchers, I'm not pulling up this bracket. He lost round 1 to a Ridley player whose name I don't remember.
Oh, did he?
He won. So he has now beaten his record of the losers run. I don't remember what the number is now. It was like 14 or 17 or something now to win that event completely from losers.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I talked to him a little before Grands, I think it was, when he was waiting in losers, like semis or something like that. And I was like, did you just like show up, start playing, and then realize you lost? He was like, dude, that's exactly what it felt like. It was just like, it's literally the oops, I lost my round 1. Like you just didn't even recognize that you were playing. And it was just not ready. But I think that was a great way, like his send off, because he is going to Japan for Kaguribi, which is awesome.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. And I have a lot of hope for him to do well there.
That's like a great way to build bracket resilience at the very least. Lose your round 1 on purpose.
After he fights the 7th Duck Hunt in a row.
Grind out a loser's run. Yeah. Hey, that
God.
could always happen at Kagaribi. You don't know which, like, 2-2 Ridley is going to ruin your whole life.
Oh God, yeah. God bless. But yeah, that is that's all the tournaments that happened. And boom, new Rivals patch dropped.
Jesus.
We're not going to go super into it. We did read it on my stream, but for our video watchers, I'm just going to scroll here. A lot came out. RCS got announced. A new Rivals game came out as well. I encourage you all to check out. What is the name of that again? Dreams of Aether?
Dreams of Aether.
Yeah. Very fun, like WarioWare-esque game. A ton of quality of life features came out, being like the texture controls in the CSS, the new
that's super nice.
stage band stuff. There's just so much came out in this patch. I encourage you all to read it. We're not gonna super duper delve into it because it is legitimately too much. But how do you feel about the patch from the things that you remember from it?
Yeah, I mean, I remember everything because I've been playing nonstop for the last couple of days.
Yeah, you have been playing the Olympia champ.
I've been trying to get a feel for like where the game is at and what sort of things feel different, what sort of things feel the same. And trying to figure out kind of where the meta is shifting towards, especially with changes like the ECB change, which is quite big in terms of like the implication of what it means.
Yes.
And I feel like the game, at least from a punish perspective, feels better now. Situations, there were a couple before where you think, where you would be like, oh, I felt like that should have hit, or I feel like they shouldn't have been able to tech in time, or I felt like maybe this should have connected before they hit the ground, or this should have been punishable, like any one of those things. And this game kind of shored up a couple moments in there that had felt weird before and feel a little less weird. Felt a little less weird than kind of what it used to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think the game feel like evolved again, and this game already felt so good, but like now it's the combo of game feel plus visual like fidelity of like, this is going to hit, this is you are going to have to tech. It's really, really cool how they've evolved that.
Yeah,
I will say,
in
though,
terms of the
real quick,
of the actual, go ahead, sorry.
Before we even go into that fucking can of worms, I will say this was definitely a engine change patch where things about floor hugging were changed, where you now will, if you get the first floor hug, it will now auto transition. You don't have to keep pressing down, which is a great change. I actually love that a lot. It's just, again, it's like removing the variable of like skill and like mash ability, which like I feel like is a great thing, like that we don't have to mash in this game in any capacity to like do inputs. But the hardest part has been having to explain what dynamic ECB is.
It's difficult.
It's really, really hard, and I apologize to our listeners right now, but it is definitely something that we're not going to delve into on this podcast. I encourage you guys to come to my stream where I can really go in depth about it and not take up an hour of us like discussing it and showcasing it and all that. You guys can learn about that from me over there on my stream instead. But
yeah, I mean, the long short of it is just like situations where people were able to tech earlier, or situations where stuff was easier to space on shield and stuff like that.
Yeah,
have become visually a little bit more consistent with what they look like.
Yes.
So when people don't do an aerial right as they're hitting the ground, or when people are trying to tech too early or whatever it might be, the visual clarity on that stuff is going to be a little bit better. And also the like skill needed to properly space up is a little bit tighter than it was before.
Yeah, I think the other like last note of it, and then we'll move on from this, is that you can get like very low hitting aerials now. Which was very hard to do because it was hard to visually discern that you were doing it before. And now it's like the feeling of doing it is now much more natural, akin to something like PM, which is awesome that they were able to figure this out. And I know it's something like that they've been working on very hard in the recent months. So it was something that they didn't expect to get out as quickly, to my understanding, but they got it out and are just continuing to tweak it and adjust any like edge cases of weird stuff. So huge shout out to the devs for kind of pushing to get this one out, because it really does elevate the game feel dramatically.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. in terms of like where they went with the balance changes this patch, I feel like they were conservative to a degree of being like, okay, how is ECB going to affect how the patch works and
Yes.
how all the characters work? So, which is why we maybe didn't see these sweeping balance changes that maybe you and me had been expecting. And I know we
Yeah.
reacted to this on
Yeah.
stream, but yeah, in terms
Yeah.
of like characters getting hit, Zetterburn was buffed. uh Rano was given a very light slap on the wrist.
Hmm.
Crag was kind of buffed and nerfed in
Oh,
certain
he
spots.
was
And
definitely buffed.
yeah. So,
Oh my goodness
and
gracious.
even Clarent was buffed, which I
Yep.
didn't even think was possible.
Yep.
So, in
uh
terms of like bringing people up, a bunch of the characters at the top did receive buffs. Fleet got a huge buff as well. So there's a
right.
couple of different things going on with this patch in terms of the characters that were already good are continuing to be solid.
Yeah.
And some of the characters at the bottom, like Fleet, got some pretty nice buffs.
Hmm. To be specific for our audio listeners as well, everybody in the game basically they decrease the startup frames on a bunch of aerials for everyone across the board. So an example of this being Zetterburn's up air went from frame 8 startup to frame 6 startup, which is a very big deal. It
Yeah,
very much
definitely.
does matter. And this is something that I'm pretty sure everyone in the game got except Raster. I think Raster did not get this, which
I don't
is
think Arcane got anything, did he?
let me check right now. Actually, Orcane did not either. That's a great catch. I forgot. But
I'm based.
yeah, pretty much everybody got something like this. Oh, Rano didn't either. Actually, I'm just lying. But the ones that did get it, being like Claren and Zetter, it's very impactful, and it's something you can absolutely feel because those 2 frames do matter, or 1 frame does matter.
100%.
I will say, like, something I like to try to explain a lot to people is, like, it's really bad practice to do engine change plus balance because it's hard to then diagnose what caused a, like, influx in a character performing versus, like, a character underperforming when we do both, right? So if it's, like, in this patch, for example, like, with Fleet, who, with the ECB change, now has instant float aerials, which is huge because she literally could not do back air and down air before. Before this, or up air, yeah, like is huge out of shield options, huge pressure mix-ups, huge confirms are now added. Like, it is a big deal, as well as things like her up air hitting like all the way back behind low now, like very similar to like Raster does. Had they done that and then like also buffed up air like at the same time, hypothetically, it's hard to be like, how do we, what is the problem, what caused this, right? And so this is where things get a little funky. And I get why we didn't get the balance patches. I'm a little sad that there wasn't at least a little bit more on some mechanics. Like Zetter Shine got adjusted a little bit, which I'm glad that they were looking at it. It's proof that they're looking at it. It doesn't really do anything, but they're looking at it. I have yet to find a case where it felt like it really mattered, but that's okay. I will say, like, the Undershine's a little less stupid. I'm not getting 5. I'm getting like 2 or 3 now. But
thank God.
Yeah, you get it. But my feelings about this patch, to like summarize it completely in like a nice little bow, is like, I like the engine changes. They're awesome. The aerial change is a little scary, but they are absolutely doing this with the intent of doing a proper balance patch in the very near future. Right now, we are experiencing what I like to describe in a live service game. This is the fun patch where everyone's fun. Everyone's fun right now.
Messed up.
Everyone's got it. And by it means a lot of things.
Yeah. I think the difficulty with this like patch right now is, there were buffs to already like good characters, like already existing good characters, but whether it be intentional or not, the system changes also heavily benefited the top tiers.
100%. Yep.
And so it has resulted in a situation where
they're really good.
They're really good in this patch. They're really fucking good. And it can be a little bit frustrating to play against. Because the characters that are good kind of just feel like they do everything.
Yeah, there is a Billy Bats, Mr. B Bats, made a really great tweet that I would actually like to pull up and discuss with you, because a lot of people tend to clown on him for having some bad takes, but I think he made a really great post, and it's something that I have talked about before. I will pull this up for our video watchers, and I will read this out for our listeners. Rivals 2 has a quirky hitbox problem. It feels like moves randomly have insane hitboxes that do too much because the move has their pinky toe covering that space. Claren is the worst offender in this category, but so many moves serve too many purposes. Raster Dare, Olympia up air are the two examples he gives. In this tweet, he shows the hitboxes of Claren up air, Raster down air, Claren up B, hit 2, and Claren dash attack, and mentions Olympia up air. And what I like about this post is, like, it covers two things that I think are really impactful in this game, and that a lot of the best characters have what I like to call, like, the jack of trades move, and some of them have more than one, where it's like, this move does this and this, or this, and, like, I think the biggest offender of that, as an example, is one that we've talked about a lot, is like Rano forward air is like the biggest offender of that, where like it's a combo tool, it's a kill move, it beats CC, it's kind of nuts. And I think Olympia up air coming out the way it is right now, where the first hit hits you forward, the middle hit hits you up, and is a flipper basically, where it's unreactable which way she's facing if she like turns around and hits you, and then the back spikes you. It's a soft spikes, akin to Raster down air. And yeah, it's really good. And like, I don't really know how personally I would go about addressing this exactly, but I feel like that there definitely is the power creep in this game, in a way, is the like, does my character have one or many jack of all trade moves, and or quirky moves, as Billy put it? How do you feel about this?
It's an interesting conversation, because I feel like a part of why this feels bad is as a result of hit falling.
That's so good. You're so right.
And because if you think about what all of these moves would do in a game without hit falling, they would not be problematic. They would be annoying, but they would not do as much as they currently do.
Yeah.
And you know, moves like Claren up air, I think fixing it is as easy as, like, maybe she shouldn't have a toe hitbox on that move that you can hit reliably. Like, yeah. I just go for that. Yeah. There's no reason not to.
Yeah. Even like, sorry to derail you really quick, but something else like about that move that I think is really important is like visually, identifying what that move is doing is kind of hard for someone that doesn't understand what the hitbox looks like, because for most people it's like, oh, tipper, the top. No, it's in front. It's the front part that you want to hit, not the tip, like the tippy top.
Yeah. And I mean, again, once you get used to it, you can just go for it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that, like, you just have to know that it's there, and there's no real indication that it is until you hit it and you're like, oh, I didn't think that would hit.
Yeah.
And then it does. But I think when I look at moves like Rano Fair, like Olympia up air, like Zetterburn up air, are all moves that come to mind in terms of moves that just do a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to balance moves like that in a game with hit falling, because if we think to something like, let's say Smash Ultimate.
Okay.
Something like Zero Suit up air.
Right.
It's a great move. Imagine that move with hit falling. Don't change anything about it, but put it in a game with hit falling and think about how oppressive that move would be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it would be her whole fucking game plan.
Yeah.
Would be to land up air.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's more of a nature of like the game itself as opposed to just the move. There are a couple of hitboxes that are active for too long or are kind of big and weird. And I think that's stuff that can be cleaned up pretty easily.
Yeah. Yeah. But and I want to point out an example of where they did this actually, which was for our listeners, Claren's back air used to have a hitbox. The first hitbox directly behind her on
Right
her
below
back,
her?
right
Yeah.
below her. And so you could get what was coined the nard, where you would just do rising back or hit fall down strong so fast it was like completely unreactive. Whereas if you as the Claren knew you were going to hit that, oh, it was like the first frame of that move, you just
down
died,
smash.
and it's just there was no human way to react. Like you were going to get hit there. You just were very punished for hitting shield in a very uncomfortable way. And they've cleaned up stuff like that, or they've been trying to address like Claren up B. It's kind of where it's like it's really weak above, except that last hitbox. It's very strange. I feel like it's something that they're like, from the outside, obviously neither of us are beta testers, neither of us have really had this conversation with any devs or anything like that, but it's like it's obviously something that like under the hood is being looked at, but it feels like they don't entirely know what direction they want to take it yet, and it's being very particulate with which one they address and like when. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely feels like they're trying not to overcook whatever they're trying to do with it. And obviously, like, it got the auto floor hug frames and stuff like that. And
yes,
again, stuff like that I don't even think is necessarily the problem, because I mean, it is a skill check to a degree, right? It's just one of those things that you have to know exists. And once you do, you can anticipate it. I think the greater issue is when those moves with weird hitboxes or not weird hitboxes, whatever, become over centralized because they're just moves that do a lot.
Yep.
And it's hard to balance because, for example, if you give Rano Fair a ton of end leg, like it feels like shit to use.
Yeah. No, my not to fucking take the floor on this one, but I've been saying this lately. I'm a big believer that like characters and moves like need some sort of drawback, and I think like Rano Fair is like the perfect example of one where it's like I don't know anything bad about that move. I could not tell you a single bad thing about that move in any capacity at all, besides that in theory you'd think that it doesn't hit behind him, but it has a reverse hitbox inside of him. So like it literally, like I genuinely don't know what is bad about that move in the context of like where someone is even remotely close enough to potentially get hit by you. Not even literally hitting it. The act of being close enough that it could hit you is like what's crazy about it. Because the other thing is, you don't know how it's going to hit you. The Rano knows because they're executing it. And like the thing that I've been pitching is like, I would love like a move like that where it's like, okay, let's lean into it being like the kill move and the combo move. Let's not let it beat CC. Like the fact that it is like it's a kill move that beats CC, that also if you hit the move part that beats the CC, it then combos into itself and kills you. Like it feels so conducive to like this is the dream, when he already does that with grab. Like the goal is like if you're gonna mash down, that he's gonna pressure you and grab you and then kill you for doing that, like, and mix you to do that, where it's like it's little things like that. I would love to see them experiment with stuff like that, because they've experimented by giving him that top hitbox, which is the combo one, but I will say, as a Rano from Rivals 1, it feels so close to how it felt in Rivals 1. It's awesome, but it is absolutely candy for dinner right now. That move is offensive how good it is, and I think Olympia up air is the next best example of that right now.
Her up air does it all for sure.
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing for me would be like, and maybe this is like your one friend who's too woke, but like like, can we make more moves like -5? You know what I mean? Like, if we make moves -5, they're not grabbable, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yeah.
it opens up opportunities where if you space it wrong, you fuck it up. They are grabbable now, and you don't just get to mash a free jab as a poke check after.
Or the down tilt. Yeah.
Or the down tilt. Because I feel like right now what happens is we have so many moves that are -2 or -3 instead of -5, which means you get the jab, you get the shine, you get the whatever after the move. And it's just like true shield pressure.
Yeah.
And I feel like combo moves like Olympia up air, Rano fair, Setter up air, Setter down air, all of these moves are like -2 or 3.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be.
Yeah, and I think
-5.
I think like this was something they tried to address in this patch by speeding up moves, because they talked about how they tried to address the like out of shield options and making moves faster. And I feel like it feels weird because by making these moves faster, it inherently made combos like better. And like
it made them more annoying. Like it truly
you
did.
definitely get cutscened more again, but there's a lot more agency now with both the ECB, with the DI changes, with the hit pause changes. It's all compounded to get to this point, but like it definitely is very stark. Like wow, like I hit up air as Zetterburn last patch, and it was like I got like 2, maybe like 3, right? Like if I was feeling good, right? Like I get like 4 or 5 every time now, like every time.
And the thing about it is, and again, this is like not to beat a dead horse, but like they're like, oh yeah, we want you to be able to back air or up air or whatever out of shield. Right? Like that was the point.
Yeah.
But every character in this fucking game has 4 frames of jump squat.
Yeah.
So are we going to talk about every move being -4 or better? The fucking jump squat. There's no time for an aerial.
Exactly.
So for anyone to get a true punish in these situations, someone has to fuck up so bad. You know what I mean? Like it truly.
Yeah,
it's dumb.
I saw a clip earlier. I don't remember who posted it, so I apologize. But it was about like Lamau Olympia fair, and it was like they faired shield and then dashed in and then like jabbed them, and I was like, come on,
why not?
Like
why not? It's safe,
and it worked. And I don't know. I think it's something that can easily be fixed, and I have faith that they're listening to feedback like this. Because it just
-5. So it's not free.
It's weird. I think there's this weird fear of making shield either good or bad instead of like shield being a thing that we actively have to play around. It's
just bad right now.
It can be good or bad, and I think that like the way people talk about shield is something that also pisses me off a lot because they obviously want us to perfect shield. Like that's the thing they're leaning on right now. They want us to perfect shield, and they make it really easy to do it. So like I get it, but I don't know. I think like it's not fun. I hate saying this feedback because it's the only way I can describe it. It's not fun when unreactable aerial is -2 and then I have to like be scared of you in a way where like I have to like rely on something like wave dash back out of shield. And it's like,
well, this is what.
Go ahead.
I was talking about this during the tournament at Battle of BC.
Yeah.
And I was watching Cake play against everyone. And that motherfucker will just wave dash back out of shield constantly.
Yeah.
He just chooses to not engage because it's the only reliable way to deal with it.
Yeah, no, like, that's a big thing we've talked about.
There are other options, but Cake is wanting to do it so it works every time. That motherfucker just leaves.
Yeah.
He just leaves.
Yeah.
And why would you risk anything else, right?
Yep.
Oh, get a meager punish for mashing or get hit with shine. Like, do you know what the implications of that are? Like, you just need to leave.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think it creates situations kind of like you said that are not interesting because it just becomes, okay, I hit your shield with an aerial. I'm so plus that you cannot interact with me. You can't even jump. You just have to wave dash back. You just have to leave. Yeah.
And even though it's like not actually plus, it's like when you add it all up, there isn't like a good response you can have.
There's nothing fast enough.
Yeah, and like even it's not even about like it's not even like that I want to be able to swing back at people. I just want them to decide if shield is good or bad and like when and where and why. Like it feels like every 2 months shield is like dramatically touched. And like this happened back in the day in like Smash 4 if you remember, where like shield was completely reworked.
Too good.
It was so broken. Oh my god, Mario was like unbeatable. You couldn't touch a shield at any capacity. Like it was nuts. And it's like that changes the whole game. And I think something like this, like, I hope that they're monitoring this and like seeing the fact that like, especially the higher the level you go, you're just wave dash backing at a shield. And especially if you're in the corner, you're doing that and then grabbing ledge. And it's like, okay, cool. We're just not fighting. And it's like, it's not fun. Like,
it's just, and again, it's not even that there aren't other options. They're just not reliable.
Yeah.
Right? Like wave dash back is the one that works every time. And so it's what good players are going to go for, because why would you risk it?
Yeah, I will say
some of the characters in this blame blow you up, like you just can't.
Yeah, I will say they did one really big buff on the engine as well, which was the parry parry floor hug change, which is if you parry somebody, they cannot floor hug I think it was a medium hit stun or less move. which allows you to get a proper confirm so that you don't just get floor hugged for comboing somebody, which is a amazing change. And I think like the direction that we're going now is to make shield worse and parry better and better and better, which I don't hate. I don't hate that.
It's tough. And I don't mind it, but it's just risky.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah, I don't know if it's the direction I'd go. I don't know if I don't think it's necessarily a bad direction, but with shield taking 15 frames to drop and with wave dash out of shield, having 4 frames jump squat, whatever. I just think that you should be able to shield grab some things.
Yeah.
And even with like how good grabs are in general and how fast the movement is in this game, shields are implicitly worse as a result of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they'll never be as strong as they were in Smash 4.
Oh, no, never.
Because of how the movement works in this game.
Yep, 100%.
And so I think at the very least, like if we made some moves -5, made some moves -6, so you had to space them.
Yeah.
I don't think that would kill anybody, but it seems to not be the direction that they really want to go with it. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what happens, because honestly, like back to the original question of like these moves that just do everything.
Yep.
I think those moves are always going to exist. I think it's impossible to not have them in a game with hit falling.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, again, if you think to like clear an up air in a game like Ultimate, that move would be ass. That move wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it would truly suck. But in this game, it's ridiculous because of the context in which it exists. And so I think up airs, stuff like up tilts are always just going to be good. Like every character in this game has a good up air.
Oh,
it's
that's
a game
the best
where
part.
Characters have good up airs.
Yeah, I love it. I love up air.
So I think those moves get to exist because that's how the game is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't really think there's a way to make them decidedly bad.
Yeah, I think they just need to be more careful with like what are all the things they let the move do, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like again, it's like I'm beating a dead horse, guys. I'm sorry, but like the Rano forward air being the kill move, the combo move, and beating the CC. I just make it anything else.
Make one of those things away.
Yeah, one of them's gotta go.
One of those things away.
Like I don't know what it should be. I don't have the answer, and that's not my job. But I can definitely tell you that like that move is just unfun to interact with. Is the best way to put it. It just
shouldn't be safe. Is that the actual answer? It shouldn't be safe on. You should be able to grab it every time.
Yeah,
that's the answer. I'll give it away. Like that move should not be safe on shield.
Yeah.
With everything Rano can do, you should get blown the fuck up for hitting my shield with that move.
Yeah. All right. So our next segment is we are going to do a tier list, but we're going to do something different. We're not doing a tier list because this patch is fucking crazy. I haven't even told Blair what we're doing, actually. I just came up with this. We are going to do the winners and the losers. Who won this patch? Who lost this patch?
No.
And who, nothing really changed, This is the big one, guys. Everybody go tell the people. This is about to be the most important tier list of the week. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Where do you want to start?
Let's start at Fleet. Fleet's first.
Yeah. I mean,
Fleet
I think it's
a gigantic winner this patch.
Absolutely.
Potentially the biggest winner.
Yeah, 100%. I think she is one of the biggest winners for sure. We mentioned it before, the instant float aerial. The implications of that are infinitesimal. Like that character has so much to grow now. She's just only gotten better and better for so many patches now.
Plus a bunch of the ledge flip on the down B and a couple other changes. The ECB changes are nice for her. Just as they're nice for everyone. She still has like really great offstage presence as they're trying to like nerf quote unquote recoveries.
Yep.
I think Fleet's in a much better spot than she was last patch, and just
100%. Yep.
It feels better to control her. Like it really does. It's a huge win for her.
So last week or the week before, I forget it was, I did a 1 stock 1 minute Iron Man with Zeus, and when I got Fleet, it was over. Like it was just over. I choked it super hard and it was just over. And then for like an hour after, I was like, I'm going to play Fleet, guys. I'm going to try this out. I'm going to try have some fun with this. And after like an hour, I was like, this is so not enjoyable for so many reasons that I just could not articulate. Besides the I can't catch people part, there was just so much. And I think the fact that like float feels so much better now, and the dynamic ECB making like the way you space aerials feeling more conducive, like, oh, I love it. And the character's been so much fun. Y'all are eating good. Mystery Soul, you're doing it again, buddy.
It's time. Yeah,
this is the top 3. It's coming. But I think that's kind of everything about Fleet. I feel like that's pretty agreeable that she's a winner. Yeah.
Yeah, she got a huge winner this patch.
Yeah. So let's like pick something out of the soup. You picked Fleet. Let's talk about Orcane.
No changes technically. Still like the engine changes. Now,
I know there are some weird things with his Nair from the dynamic ECB and like back air that some people I've seen talk about, but I think a big thing is like how it wasn't super duper impactful. Besides the up throw was bugged for like a day, and that's something that I know a lot of people were frustrated about. But I know up throw is something that they're looking at a lot right now because it was the best up throw in the game until certain somebody showed up with the funny rat.
All good.
Yeah, it definitely is just that with extra steps.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, but I think Orcane is just completely fine. I don't think anything really changed.
I think this might be spicy, but I think he's a loser of this patch.
Why do you feel that way?
I don't think it's because he got worse necessarily, but I think everyone got better around him. And I think the stuff that he gets off ECB is less consistent and less impactful than some of the other characters.
Okay.
And the fact that none of his aerials were changed or anything like that, like I actually, again, he didn't get worse, but I think the
interesting
floor came up around him.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know
if he
that
makes him like an implicit loser of the patch.
That's a great way to look at it. Yeah, let's move that down. I think like him not being able to benefit off of this as much, at least right now, I have not really seen it myself. I've played against Orcane a single time this patch, to be blunt with you guys. It felt exactly the same, but it felt like I could hit him a lot easier. That's what it felt like.
It was easier to hit him. Yeah. That's what it feels like. Yeah.
No, I think you're right. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I think he is a loser. That's a good shout. Yeah. Okay.
That's why I'm here. No.
Yeah. Who do you want to talk about next?
Do you want to get Zetterburn out of the way? Or
I mean, like, yeah, like, we could just put that there. It's like, I think the biggest one, like, we could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on with like all this, but being able to super duper duper low hit up air and back air matters so much. You guys like do not understand. Like being able to like scoop is so big, and it's like you could do this before, but it was high skill. Now I do it. There you go. Now I do it. I can hit it. That's the literal point. It's like I can hit this stuff now.
Yeah, he scoops now. His aerials are faster, and not just any aerials, like high impact fucking aerials.
Yeah, nair and up air.
Aerials that make him hard. Like really hard to contest in neutral now, that make him hard to contest in disadvantage even.
Yeah.
Because of how fast they are. Aerials that give him like safe cross-up potential, that are easier to hit lower, that extend his combos. He was already fucking crazy. Like this character right now is nuts.
Yeah.
This character is truly fucking insane.
Yeah.
And I think he's the biggest winner this patch. Because not only did he get buffed from already being crazy, but the system mechanics I think benefit him the most.
We'll get to it, and I will give a teaser. I think there's a 3-way tie actually for the biggest winners, and we'll get to that later.
Okay,
though.
Yeah, we can get to it. We can get to it.
Actually, I'm gonna make another one, add row above, and it's gonna be like biggest winners.
It's Zetterburn and Fleet are definitely in that.
I don't think Fleet is actually, and I think it's because everyone else also got better. And even though she's way, way, way better now, the Zetterburn guy, the even Orcane still is Orcane. Rano is still Rano. Claren is better. Forsburn is better. Like everyone can do what she does as well. And it's like, I think it's very similar in the vein of what you mentioned, where it's like the floor was lifted up. And even though she went up a couple floors, it's right there still. It's still right there.
And there were already people that were higher than her also went up. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm there with you.
Yeah.
All right.
So for our video watchers, we have this. So in our listeners, we've got the biggest winner right now is Zetterburn. Our winner is Fleet. Nobody in the neutral, but I think we might have a couple people to put there soon. And then Orcane as a loser right now. Now, who do you want to talk about next?
I think if we want to fill this out, I think Maple would definitely fall in the neutral category for this. I don't know if you agree. But
I actually
this is
do
where
agree.
I would have her.
I think the Nair sped up is like kind of nice. It is pretty
It's
good.
nice.
But I don't think it really mattered. And I think that like since the F tilt nerf and now floor hugging being easier, especially in someone like her where it's like 1-1-2 or like 1-2, like that was the skill check and like that being easier, I think is impactful, but it's not in such a way where it's like she's bad. It's like that skill check everyone can pass now, and it's like now we're all playing the game that Plup and Cake were playing, where like everyone else that played Plup was not able to do that besides Cake at that event.
I think the other thing is it's easier to hit her now.
Yes, but I don't think it's so impactful.
Closer to the ground. No, that's why I think it's neutral. Like, I think she benefits from some of the combo changes. Yeah. I think having her Nair be faster is beneficial, but she also lost some stuff implicitly in this. So that's why I would have her in neutral for sure. Yeah. No, I super agree with that. I'm definitely interested to see. I could see her not getting touched again for quite a while. I think she's in a really good spot. I think she's in a good spot, honestly. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I think it's fine. Like, Maple can be good, guys. She is not God by any means. I just think she's good. I think she's a good character, and it's good to have good characters, you know? I think both Maple and Arcane are in great spots. I just wish more people fucking played Arcane so I could play more people. That's very fair. Matchup experience would be awesome. Yeah. So let's talk about Edalus. I think he's a winner. Really? And I will tell you, there's a very specific thing, and I talked about this when I played with Switch. Actually, funny enough, when I streamed with Switch the other night, and he was playing a bunch of Olympia, for like 2 hours, I think, I played exclusively Edalus, and it was for one very specific reason. There was something in the last build before the ECB change that really frustrated me, and it was the way his back air felt and visually interacted, like, in the game. You could not discern how to hit people low. You could not tell how it was active and things like that. But this feel, like the game feel part of it now, and being able to, like, I can hit Maple with back air, guys. I would hit like 1 out of 10. I can hit like 8 out of 10 now. That is so huge. On top of being able, you can do rising back air and waveland now, which is that's really sick. Yeah. That's the new like bait. Like, it's real. And I think like the aerial speed buffs, the like dynamic ECB, like super benefit him, especially because there'd be so many times you would be like, I swear that move hit, and it just did not click. And for a character like him, where so many moves have like a wind up or are very particular with where you place it, like down tilt, everything made more sense now. And it's like when I would lose to moves with dash attack, it made sense when I lost. But when I would beat it, it also made sense. Like, the visual fidelity of playing him jumped dramatically. And I cannot stress to you guys how important it is to have landing space back air, similar to what we talked about with how safe that move is in a matchup when it's the little Glup Shido that's running at you at Mach speed. We have a button that's fast enough to actually stuff them out while retreating, because forward air would just not do it. Yeah, that's fair. I can definitely, I can be convinced. And his dash attack beats projectiles now. That is huge. That is huge. That, like, it beats Fireball. It beats Seed. It beats Droplet. It beats Crystal, which is huge in that matchup. Yeah, beating Crystal is super nice. Yeah. I think he's absolutely a winner. And I think, like, we've been kind of on the same wave where it's like super hard character, but it's like he keeps getting a little bit better every patch, and he's creeping his way up, I think, right now. It'll be interesting to see if people are able to push him.
Yeah.
We definitely saw some good stuff from Bullets in terms of like setting
Yeah.
stuff up, but
Yeah.
parts of it felt like a matchup check. And so I'm interested to see how people push it to the point where if people do know the matchup, it's still able to win.
Yes. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. Only on the up and up, because more and more people are playing Analyst now. Like I said, it's like the big thing is like it's fun to play a character that doesn't feel bad, and he feels good now. Where I think at launch he did not feel good.
He's a goofy guy for sure.
Yeah. All right, you're up.
You want to go Loxodont?
Ooh,
I have Loxodont in losers, but I don't know how you feel. I think this patch has been rough for
for our video watchers, I'm going to pull up the Loxodont section again because I have a lot of different feelings about this. He kind of just got the up air and nair a little bit faster, and like that's cool, and I think the up air one is really good. For those listeners, up air went from frame 10 to frame 9. Going to single digit is a big deal for like an anti-air. And then a neutral air went from frame 7 to frame 6, which is really good. It's a great tool to be able to stuff and combo, and like allows you to mix DI better now with it being a little bit faster. But he did get one big thing that I do think makes him go into neutral, because there was one thing very similar in the vein to what we talked about with Edelus. He can back air the short characters now. He literally could not do that without solving the quadratic formula, without inventing the quadratic formula in 1642 to hit Maple in the past. Like that was real. Yeah, I think this is a big thing that does matter, and I think that alone puts him in a neutral. But I think with all the faster moves, he is the character who gets bullied the hardest by this, bar none, and keeps him from being a winner because of that. Like
the ECV changes fucking suck for him.
He gets jump scared so hard.
People just blow him the fuck up now, and it feels more consistent.
Yeah, and it feels like it's easier to hit a shield and not get grabbed.
I mean, it straight up just is.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's like, it's the feeling, because it's like you could do that before, but it was like awkward because you'd be like, oops, I hit too high on a shield. But it's like, I can now, like, similar in the vein to a game like Smash Ultimates, I can like, ooh, I hit my mic. Sorry about that. I can like aim the sword at the bottom of his shield, which makes it like -3 or -2, or funny Rano forward air being -1, or it's
0.
Yeah, 0. Like you can do that intentionally, and to some degree it's his fault sometimes, but sometimes the force burn's gonna back air for the 3rd time and you can't stop it. Like you just can't. And it's like, that is huge in a matchup like that. Or the Zetterburn is going to do the retreating full space back air. Like it makes more sense now. And I think it makes his job, where he's the funny little goober who's trying to floor hug grab you and trying to perfect shield grab you. And
he just exists to cheese you now is what it feels like. It literally feels like he just exists in neutral to finesse you. And he can do it. Like, don't get me wrong, he's good at it.
Jab, grab, floor hug, mix up. He absolutely has the tools to finesse you super easily.
It's just like, you don't want to have to rely on that. And it feels like now more than ever, like people can stuff him from playing the game.
Yeah.
In ways that they couldn't before.
The faster aerials, I think, goes a long way, because his big aerial to like contest space being like forward air and like back air did not get sped up, which is really important. Yeah. But a lot of other characters like Claren back air to go and contest that space with him did get buffed, and I think like matchups like that dramatically shifted, I think, because of that.
Harder for sure.
Yeah. I'm inclined to put him in neutral alongside Maple.
I believe it. I'm down with that.
And it's very much because it's like he was so close to being a winner, but because of that floor being lifted up, he's absolutely dropped right away from that.
Yeah, he would have been a winner if ECB hadn't happened.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, what's funny is it was a win and a lose for him because the ECB gave him the back air.
Yeah, because of the back air.
And it's just like,
if it had been just that, I guess.
If it was just he got it.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to talk about the raster guy? I feel like we could get that one over with.
Yeah, I feel like there's not even much to say, really.
Yeah, so I feel
I
like
don't know. You tell me.
he was one of the characters that pre the ECB change, it didn't make it didn't feel hard to do this kind of stuff with him because of like the way his short hop worked and like the way his moves worked like visually. Like you could hit the back of that up air. It's all easier now. And you could space the back air. Like you could do this, but it feels like he just kind of does what he does before easier. He didn't get dramatically changed. But I do think he kind of falls in the vein where like it's a little bit easier to air him now, and he also didn't get any of his moves sped up. Not that he needed to, and I don't think he needs to in any capacity get any of his moves to be faster at all.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be neutral or loser, where like
yeah,
it doesn't feel like he's doing anything he didn't do before.
Yeah,
and everyone else has an easier time dealing with him to a degree. And this is not to say he's not still very good, but
he's super good, yeah.
Reference to this patch,
yeah,
it felt like people got better around him.
The only thing that I think he got that probably keeps him in neutral and almost makes me want to make it go into winner is his best move, which is the best move in the game, got better. Being his up air. And it didn't get faster, but it didn't need to. And now being able to very particularly place the hitbox for that up air now, being even easier for the raster, like that's the move of all time. And sure. it being able to actually scoop people with like that starting hitbox, like out of shield, and it being like actually nice. That way is huge. And like being able to stuff people out, it's huge. But they got to jump, and that's the hard part, is getting them to do that. So I think because of that, I say we put him in neutral, because he's still super good, and I don't think he's really dropped dramatically. But I think he did not benefit super hard from this.
That's fair. Yeah. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Forsburn? I would have him in loser of this patch.
So fun fact, I actually disagree with you. And I have a very specific reason. So there was a thing that I struggled with. And actually Cake struggled with this too when Forsburn came out. And it was trying to do low retreating back air, like fast fall back air. And it's because the like game feel without the dynamic ECB was completely off, right? And I think this is a case where it's like his best move that is over centralizing around his kit got better and is now easier to use on every front in every situation, like regardless of context. I think that is huge. I think being able, they buffed his forward air. Like at first I was like, oh, it's not that big a deal. Like reading it, I was not that big a deal. It being faster actually matters so much, because now I can mix the eye with it again. I feel like I couldn't do it before. Now I can do it again, like consistently.
Okay.
I think he is a winner for those like two reasons.
Interesting. I just don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like his threat range in neutral is so much less significant now. Like
I think it's the same. I think it's just easier for him to put the stuff where he wants. I think at the end of the day, we're still watching the funny, like, watch him back air, retreating back air again. What are you gonna do? You still can't punish it. You still can't do it.
It was always like that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is now it's easier.
Different.
No, but now it's easier.
But it was always easy. I don't know. I'm a hater.
It's just easier to actually now.
It was always easy.
The thing is, it's like what I mentioned earlier, where it's like now everyone can do it. That's what it is. It's complete, like remember we mentioned like the Zeta burn, like the back air and the up air. It's like everyone gets to do that now. There's no finesse. You just do it. You just jump and you retreat and you fall and you back air, and it works because you touch the ground later. Like that alone, it also makes that move more active in some ways if you choose how to use it, because you don't touch the ground as early anymore. And I think that does matter a lot, especially in the context of the literal best Forsburn in the world, who is literally known for doing retreating back air. It literally buffs the way he plays.
Yeah. Okay. If you want him there, I don't know. I would have him in neutral or loser. I feel like it's so much easier to combo him now.
I don't feel like that's ever changed.
If you just like, it just feels easier. It's so hard
I guess
to
with like the weight and fall speed, like the teching, like I get what you're trying to say. Yeah.
And like not having to worry about cape basically at all is awesome.
I've yet to find a person that's done that. I'm gonna be so real with you.
It's so easy now.
Yeah, you just hold down, but it's because everyone forgets. That's what it is. Like everyone just DIs it now. But don't forget, he did get one massive buff, and it's that he can tilt out of cape faster. And that
Yeah,
shit
but that means that like presumes
matters.
you didn't.
No. Do you remember the doing cape into down tilt at ledge?
Yeah.
Before, you could DI out and then he would have to react and do like the turnaround back air, like down air and catch you, right? That shit is so much harder to react to now. And it's just more true. That is like the explosion combo. Unironically, it is the explosion combo. And
okay, I'll give it up.
Yeah.
I'll give it up.
Yeah.
I'll give it up.
Give it like, watch Cake do it again at the next turn where he's just gonna nair and like kidnap somebody and just toss him off and just cape down, and you're gonna be like, whoa, he just took 70% or
Hello.
died.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I mean, is like, it's super real. Where like before, depending on the hits, you can mix the DI. You can't floor hug when you get tossed by nair off stage. You just can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and rant about my force burn guy.
I'll be interested to see how it like materializes.
Yeah. Rano, where you put him?
I would have him near the tippy top of this.
I feel like he's just like a winner because it's just like it made what he does better. But I also don't think he got super duper buffed besides like retreating back air, very similar in like the same vein of this, where it's like that's just easier to do. But like, I feel like that's like it's someone in our live chat just mentioned it right now. The lovely Ron Gunshoe put it best. Rano is just always fucking winning.
He's always fucking winning.
But I don't think he won as hard because he didn't, none of the numbers changed. It just made it a little bit easier. That's really it.
That's fair. I would have him at the top of winners. I just it just feels like
I think that's
everything
right.
he did well, he just continues to do well.
Yep.
Everything, like every system change that has ever happened is good for him.
Yeah.
Like, and the nerf he got literally doesn't matter.
Yeah. It was very edge case. It was like specifically in like needle edge guards and stuff, and like against like force burn. It's weird. I don't particularly understand what their focus was in. Like, I would love to know this scenario that they were presented that felt like they wanted to change that, because I do want to understand. I would love if they, in like the next patch notes, they like were like, this is something that we saw, and like showcase what inspired them to do that change. I would love that from the devs, of like a clip that was like, this is something akin to what we've observed.
Yeah, we didn't like this.
Yeah. I think that would be very, very cool. Tell the devs people that.
That's a big ask, though.
I like that.
That's
Oh yeah,
big
of course.
Ask, but it would be sick.
Well, I know they're watching like all the time. They watch all the tournaments. They're looking at all this stuff. They are observing, and they're playing too. It can be stuff they experience. I know Trevor played bio today and got hit by reverse forward air. It happened.
Well, good. Oh, good.
It happens. But yeah. I think we're at the end game. Game.
These characters.
So Olympia's out. We can just kind of like nip this one in the bud. Like, Olympia's out.
Pretty good.
And I think the dynamic ECB benefits a kit like hers, where hitbox placement and which hitbox you want to hit is so impactful to like, oh, I hit you here, to I didn't stop hitting you until you died sometimes, or I mixed your DI twice and you died. And like,
yeah.
It's very execution heavy. I think she is quite difficult like the execution because of how high APM she can be, but also you don't have to do that a lot of times. I
have some thoughts about this character.
Yeah, drop the nurse knowledge.
I think you might disagree with me.
Oh, here it comes. Bracing myself.
This is not me trying to downplay. It really isn't. But this character to me feels like Pyramithra. It feels like Pyramithra, and I feel like I'm getting gaslit the same way. I got gaslit with that character.
Okay.
Where it is good. Everything she does is objectively good.
Yeah.
But she has such a clear weakness in a game of characters that do not have that.
Yeah.
And she has such a clear way that she can lose on purpose or accidentally that makes her an awful fucking tournament character.
I will say the accidental thing is definitely a byproduct of a bug with the ECB right now, and it's something that they have addressed and are working on, and I can confirm that like right now. So like
sometimes she just falls off the fucking stage.
Yeah, and it's something that they are trying to fix. Like, and this is a very shared sentiment. I've seen many clips about this, and I've seen the devs in certain spaces be like, we are working on this. Like, I'm sorry, like we get it. Like that is very frustrating. Like, but I get what you're saying, that it's like she can do it, but it's so easy to fail is what it is.
It's just literally when you're in like a last hit situation with her, she feels like a low tier. And again, it's not because she doesn't have the tools to make it happen, but it's just because if someone breathes on you wrong, you die. And
the super fast faller light life combo is real.
It can be very difficult with how stubby she is to consistently win neutral and not fuck it up. Once you get the hit, absolutely, you should blow people the fuck up. She's insane. She's literally insane when she hits you.
Yeah.
But in between those hits, it's fucking scary.
Yeah.
It's really scary playing Olympia. And
no, I think there's a large margin for error right now.
Like, they live actually a surprisingly long time. Like, you can live fair at like 120, 130. Same with Up B. Where to the point where she has to like go for offstage commitments that if she misses, again, she just dies. And
I think, go ahead, sorry, finish your thought.
You have a character that just does great things.
Yeah.
And yeah, Crystal's ridiculous as well. Don't even get me started about Crystal. Like, Crystal is truly a ridiculous move. Yeah. And Crystal Dash, like, does have counterplay. Like, you can parry it, you can crouch cancel it, all that good stuff.
Yep.
But it's unreal. It's really good. The implicit threat of it is nuts.
Yep. Yeah.
But the burden of fucking up with this character and how easy it is to fuck up as a result of how stubby she is makes her so hard to recommend for tournament play. Because if you mess up against your 2-2er in pools, they will ruin your life at 30%.
Yep.
And this is compounded by the fact that every character in this video game has a custom up throw combo against her. That is a kill confirm at 90. I checked this. If you get up thrown, this is going to blow your fucking mind. Okay. If you get up thrown by any character in this video game as Olympia, at 90%, you should die.
I think the only one
can kill you.
I think the only one or only two that it's probably not true is probably Forsburn and Crag. But everyone else, I'm inclined to agree with you. Yes.
I think Forsburn can probably
it's so bad. It's so bad. There's no way. There's no way. If I'm like chat, someone test it and prove me wrong.
Craig definitely can.
There's no way.
Craig can definitely spare you.
There's no way.
No, okay. Like Zetterburn gets up throw up smash.
I know.
Rano
Yeah.
gets up throw up smash.
Imagination. Yeah, Rano gets imagination off of it. I know.
He gets whatever he wants. Maple gets up throw fucking down smash. Like, it's dumb. And so
again, no, I get it. I get what you mean. I think it's one of those things.
Objectively fucked.
Yeah.
She's crazy. But she gets it once and people 0 to 80 her, and then everyone has a kill confirm on her at 80 that doesn't work on any fucking one else. Which means in tournaments, you have to be the GOAT.
You gotta lock in. You have to like this up. I think it's one of those things that like a couple months from now, we'll kind of have a better gauge for this of like how simple are her routes, right? Because right now, it's like the world is our oyster. It's so complicated. Like I'm already seeing people doing like forced jab lock or crystal traps, and then like same thing off stage with Crystal. Like Crystal's definitely the big thing right now. That's like it's kind of wacky. We this is such a foreign thing in this game that the closest thing we had to this was like release Slipstream that was transcendent, and this is not the same thing, but is better in certain ways. Like it's crazy because it's that plus the dash plus the like you want to get rid of it, so you want to hit it, but then she gets to fucking throw it again, and it's like well, where's the part that I beat it? And it's like this is all stuff that can be adjusted, and like it's very interesting. It's a character that's definitely like it's the shakeup that I think people have been looking forward to. but she's hard enough that it's not just like boom, oops, all Olympia in top 8, which I'm so impressed by the dev team and the beta testers for getting it to that point. Because is she really good right now? Absolutely. You don't have to be a genius to figure that out.
She's objectively good. Yeah.
But is she going to be like, oh my God, there's 3 of them in top 8 like next week?
No, there's no fucking
absolutely
way.
not. Absolutely not. And like, that's the
and you know what people are going to do with this character? And this is why I think she's like Pyramithra. People are going to bust her out once they get to top 8.
I think like where there's the simplified, like, you know, you fight the Forsburn who just does the simple and like it goes a long way. Yeah.
No, like I think people are not going to risk it in pools. People are not going to risk it in top 32.
Oh, they're going to bust it out. I said bust her out. Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
Because people are going to get boned in pools. So they're just going to play Zetterburn. Because why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Because it's a free win. And why would you risk it? But then when you're against people who are good, who might be beating you anyway, who are going to play the game in a way that is normal or expected.
Yeah.
Then you can play her with some degree of certainty because it doesn't feel as bad.
Yep.
So I think people are going to have her as a secondary.
I could see that.
Or when they get to certain matchups in top 8. And much like Pyramithra does that, I think she'll be very good in that context.
I agree. I can see.
There's a reason Shuton plays fucking Olimar in pools. There's a fucking reason. You know what I mean? Like
100%. 100%. No, I agree with that. I think I can see like this is like one of those characters that will definitely be dual mained, but it being like this is the primary because you have to put so much time into her, and then it's the I'm gonna keep it clean and I'm gonna better player you, and it's gonna be like I'm gonna play the Fleet, I'm gonna play the Claren, I'm gonna play the Forsburn, and like like stuff like that where it's just like we're just gonna bust it out when it's needed for sure. Where like the equalizer and things like Punish Game, I think are gonna show up. But yeah, no, I empathize with what you're saying, and I super agree with it. I think it's very akin to Pyramithra, and it being like very hard and very punishing is the word I think you use that is really good. Yeah, no, I super agree with that. So we've got.
Sorry, just like one more thing on this note.
Go ahead.
Just because I've been playing so much of her.
Yes.
I've been playing so much of her trying to get a feel. Like I have over 110 games on Olympia.
Yep.
And I think the biggest thing that I feel is the toughest characters for her to fight are some of the most common.
Okay.
And I think that stinks.
Who would you say are the toughest right now?
I think Rano, Claren, and Zetterburn are all so frustrating to fight.
I get that. Yeah, no, I can see it 100%. I think Rano especially is really, really fucking annoying. Yeah.
Rano and Claren particularly feel impossible sometimes. Like if they're willing to camp you, it's so hard.
Yeah. No, I think especially being in a stock deficit and on a large enough stage. Yeah. And I like with our current rule set too, I think she has a little rough at times where it's like,
well, and she has to ban certain stages. Like she has to ban Harbor and she has to ban Aromata or else she just can't get back. So she also doesn't get to make strategic bans.
Yeah. I think it's rough. I think it's real. I think Aromata specifically is the one that like you have to, Harbor, it's like, I get why. And like, it makes sense. I think it sucks, but also like, if it's like I don't know. I really just don't know. And I think it's really rough in this format. And I'm excited because they did announce that they are going to be doing the like stage rotation for the RCS. And I'm very much looking forward to when that gets announced, what it will be. But for our audio listeners, I forgot to mention, we did put Olympia in the biggest winners. To be more specific for the people that can't see it. But yeah, she's very good, but she definitely gets bullied.
Very interested how things shake out with her, because I think this is another one where if people are willing to camp, which they've proven they're not willing to do with Raster, it gets worse.
Yeah,
100%.
Agreed.
And if you're willing to just sit there and back air with Claren with this new fucked back air, like it's really annoying.
Can't wait to see you play Ganger. That's awesome.
I'm just gonna ditto him. Like, why would I not? Like,
all right.
Even like Ron said in the chat, you can up throw neutral B2.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, she is definitely the super fast faller of all time. It's crazy. Now, I'm going to jump the gun on this one, and we're going to talk about Claren, and she is definitely one of the biggest winners in contention for being the biggest winner, I think, from this patch.
Seriously.
Without a doubt in my mind. I think the engine change, I think the direct buffs to her moves, she's cracked out of her gourd, and it's insane. And she has come from the future to the past to fuck up every bracket, bluntly. I think she is insane right now. It literally, like, went from we went from like this insane, like, you know, she's really good, you know, I think she could be like anti-meta to some degree, where like, oh, this character is just objectively in contention to be one of the best, if not the best character in the game right now, because it's like, it's insane, it's just insane. And like, yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, you could be like, yeah, this is the best character, yeah, and it could be like 5. It could just be 5. And like, that's it. It's so cool, but also horrifying, because like I said earlier, really this is the fun patch, guys. Have fun. Go fucking crazy. I don't really know what else to say. I feel like we've talked about Claren so much already, just from the patch earlier.
Just implicitly through other characters. Yeah. I think how your character does in relation to Claren, Crag, and Rano and Zetterburn matters so fucking much this patch.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a good matchup into 2 out of 3 of those, and especially Zetterburn and Claren, you're in for a true nightmare.
Yeah. Like yeah, and I feel like that's what keeps Fleet like out of the biggest winners, is like, yeah. Listeners, you can't see me. I'm just shaking my head right now. I'm just like, I'm in awe that we got here. Again, it's like, this is the engine patch, like I talked about, where they adjusted a bunch of things engine side across the board. And I'm very confident that the next patch will be directly addressing a lot of the things we're talking about, if not things adjacent to it, as they have a better understanding of this stuff. This is simply our own perspective on all this stuff. We're not here to say like what we're saying is right or wrong, but I can definitely tell you that Claren is fucking good right now, and that is not a conversation. And anyone that says otherwise is not looking at the same game you are, and that's okay. We all are here to have fun. But yeah.
Claren and Zetterburn right now are fucked.
Yeah.
They are so good.
Now I want to talk about the funny bug in the room.
He's also fucked.
They did something, and I'm gonna put him in tie. He is tied for the biggest winner. For our audio listeners, our video guys, here you go. Like, this is our biggest winners are Crag, Claren, Zetterburn, and Olympia. We'll do the whole list in a minute. I need to go on a rant. I need to go on a serious rant, because this blew my fucking mind when I read this patch note. I'm gonna pull this up for our video people here, and I'm gonna show you guys, and I'm gonna read this very particularly to you. Okay. Rock throw startup went from frame 8 to frame 6. This applies to all rock throws and cargo throws. Okay.
It applies to the cargo throw?
Yes. Now, this was done as a balance, a like compensation buff, because they nerfed some of the cargo throw and addressed some hitboxes on the rock throw. Like, they did a bunch of little tweaks, things here and there around this. To specifically try to address, you know, the funny, for any of you guys watching right now, I'm going to kind of use my hands right now, but basically Crag would like grab someone out of their recovery and like just toss them into the abyss. And it's like, they changed the instant release on that as well. Like, they addressed a lot of little edge case scenarios that just felt really bad, where like Crag could like jump over and B turnaround and grab Zetterburn out of his up B and just be like, bye, you're in the abyss. Goodbye, like, that's it. And it wouldn't always kill him, but it would basically put him in a scenario where it's like, you're dead. Like, you're dead. Especially if you don't have a jump, you don't have your wall jump anymore. Like, that's it. GG. Goodbye. Like, that's your stock pretty much, right? So they did some compensation. Why this matters so much is Crag is a character that is inherently rewarded for when he pulls rock, and can pull rock without getting hit. Now, this is the big thing, because they also nerfed, and I'll pull this up for the video people, where is this exact thing? You can no longer floor hug while holding a rock. So this was done because what would happen is Krags at really low percent in like scraps would pull rock and buffer floor hug and then throw rock down and win a scrap by doing that. Now you can't do that. So you now get punished. You now get punished for pulling the rock, which is good, right? So they were like, okay, you get punished for pulling the rock. Let's make it better. So now what he can do that's really big is he can pull the rock and throw it and be actionable that 2 frame faster. Now, one of the biggest mix-ups is like from mid-range is you take the rock and you mix up throwing it at them, throwing it up, or throwing it doing the lob, the neutral B, right? Because you're not throwing it backwards. That's not happening, right? So when you do this and are now more actionable, you can now do mix-ups around parry and around block and around movement and around whiffing significantly faster than what he could ever do before. This is the best rock toss has ever been in the life of Rivals 2. This is very akin to how good it was in Rivals 1. And that is horrifying because there were literally matchups in that game, which is there is one in this game where it's I pull rock and now I literally win neutral. And in this game, it's Loxodont. And now he loses even harder because you are just like, you can't get there. You can't stop him from pulling it. You literally can't. What I've been telling people, like I talked about this with ZB and I've been telling Zeus this, is like, dude, if you are like, I'm winning with rock and it's kind of awkward, I'm going to grab you. I'm going to just back throw you regardless of where we are. And I'm going to pull rock and I'm going to fucking win neutral because I pressed the B button. And that's crazy because now you can like, before you couldn't comfortably neutral B toss, jump, and mix up hitting it or grabbing it and throwing it to play around parry as well. Now you just win that interaction. You beat dash parry. It is objectively wrong to try and dash parry that now, which is not good because that's everybody. Everybody loses that now. And like that was the answer. And now you have to bait him to throw it. Or now you gotta be a little goofy goober and dance around the funny unreactable rock toss. That's my rant.
That move was already crazy.
Yeah,
like that move was already ridiculous. It is now truly ridiculous. And
yeah,
again, like some of the it's just again, I know we saw this and we reacted to it as any way that maybe you can react to it.
It's the fun
and
patch.
You're right. It is the fun patch. But I think it is funny how objectively the best characters in the game benefited the most from this patch as well.
Yeah.
To the point where those characters feel more ridiculous than they ever have. And maybe that's part of, and this could be true, part of why Olympia feels harder to play than maybe she will be, would have been even last patch, right? Because she wouldn't have been dealing with a lot of this shit.
No, I get that. I get that. I don't know if they ever tested with or without dynamic ECB. I'd assume they didn't, or very little testing without the dynamic ECB. But I think it's very much like literally all the characters that we were like, yeah, like 1 or 2 things need to be hit on all these characters dramatically benefited from the game feel and like the way the engine worked evolving. And that's to no one's surprise, I guess. It's very obvious that like when the game gives you more agency and easier execution, that the characters get better. And then when they also make the moves better on top of that, it just compounds into these creatures of ether that bully you, like straight up bully you sometimes. And yeah, like what's funny is like, we're saying all this stuff right now, but I think we can both agree the game is still super fun right now. Like
it's insane. Yeah.
It's actually crazy that like, you know what, I do get hit by like crazy Zetterbrun up air, but like I do some shit to him that I never got to do, and that's awesome. And I think that's interesting. Like at the end of the day, like even though we have our little like the winners and losers, this shit is still fire. Before we move on from this, I do want to talk about, or I want to read off the tier list for our audio listeners. The biggest winners are Krag, Claren, Zetterburn, and Olympia. The winners are Rano, Fleet, Edalus, and Forsburn. The neutrals are Maple, Loxodont, and Raster, and the only loser is looking like Orcane right now. But this is not to say who are the better characters, the worst characters, or anything like that. This is specifically how we feel about who benefited and didn't benefit as much from the patch.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I am pretty happy with that. And I think, obviously, like I said, there's a billion conversations we could have about Olympia, but I think as tournaments happen, and especially as the mid-season patch hits for this as well, it will be very interesting to see how she ends up doing, who's able to optimize her, what the optimization looks like, and how much some of those kill confirms, like the fact that you can consistently kill Olympia at 90 with almost every character in the game, how much is that going to matter?
Yeah.
Because in my head, it's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. It's interesting. It's very interesting, and more than anything, I'm excited to be like 2 months from now, where it's like the next wave 100%. Of patch, and like how a Punish game evolves with the dynamic ECB, like how pressure on shield evolves, like things like that, like how parry punishes are optimized, like stuff like that, where it's like there's so much to build on right now that it's like we're at the fun stage. It's all fun and games now, and I think like again, you know, we've said this in the past too, that it's like every patch the game does legitimately get better, and I think I still feel that way, even though a lot of the stuff that we feel like can be frustrating hasn't been fully addressed yet. I'm still having a really good time, and I'm still playing like every day.
We'll get there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I believe we'll get there. Make the game not unplayable.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any final thoughts about the winners and losers?
I'm pretty happy with that, honestly. I think that's a fun way to do a tier list.
Yeah, I'm glad you like that idea. I literally, off the cuff, came up with that while we were talking, and I was like, wait, I'm going to adjust this, and I'm going to have it prepped.
Yeah, it's based. Yeah,
I'm glad you liked it.
I like it.
Okay, we're going to speed run 2 things, guys. One, 2XKO had a huge video talking about it. There are basically 2 things that you need to know about this. There's a ton of quality of life changes for execution that were added to the game. I encourage you to watch this video. We do not have the time to go over it all right now. I'm happy with it.
6 pages of notes.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I watched it today in the shower. That was my prep while she wrote 10 pages about it.
All good.
I'm happy about it. I think they're good changes. Some of them are a little scary for like ease of usability and certain things. But it's cool that they're trying to make it playable for everybody, but it's getting to the point where we're reaching the barrier of too easy, I think.
It's interesting. And there's a whole conversation that you could have about this. And I actually was privileged enough to talk to some people at Riot about it.
Yeah.
But basically the idea is of what they're trying to do is what they found was when they released the first 2XKO beta, they had crossover from League. They had crossover from Valorant. They were getting people who had never played a fighting game before to play a fighting game, which is dope.
Yeah, that's super cool.
The problem was they were playing a fucking tag fighter.
Yeah, that's which is the hardest fucking genre in the world.
Which means that not only do you have to learn 2 characters, that also the average person playing the beta was fucking good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even outside of the base game and anything like that, the average person who was playing the beta was really good.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening is the players who jumped over from League or the players who jumped over from Valorant got hit with some of the most disgusting nicks since MVC3.
Yeah.
And that is a very tough pill to swallow if you don't know what's going on.
Yep. And I think that they, to really quick to just like try to speedrun this, is like one of the biggest things they talked about in the video was agency and giving more agency and reversals and like not being in just tech hell into force to get up hell into you're getting beaten by the unreactable assist. Like it's really trying to give more agency to the player, and I think that that's a good thing to focus on.
Yeah, and like adding stuff like a better comeback mechanic, giving you more defensive options to get out of like the disgusting mix, taking away the running tag, which was so fucked up.
A lot
of changes in that direction to make it feel better, more accessible. I think the issue becomes is like people will always say, where's the skill expression? And I'm hoping that it is still there in terms of being able to kind of diversify combo routes, have them not be too long, but have them be meaningful, being able to open up unique team combos and stuff like that. I think I want to trust them that they're going to be able to make that happen. And they've shown us that they aren't afraid to let characters be strong.
Yeah,
right?
no, I agree.
Outside of like what the fucked up situations are, the characters generally in that game are strong.
Yeah, most characters are really, really good and like above average too in the genre, which is cool. Speaking of characters, there is one thing that I don't love, and that they are releasing a tag game with 10 fucking characters in the year 2025. And it is free to play, but they better speed run that character release, because there is nothing that makes people play a fighting game more than a character fucking coming out. That is really important. And that is something that scares me, because as someone who is incredibly picky with fighting game mains, you gotta find 2.
Yeah.
And there's only 10. And as someone that played the beta, I liked a couple of the characters. I don't know if I personally was like, that's the one. The closest is probably like Echo. But it's like, boom, I didn't find a second one. I didn't find it. Like the closest was maybe like Yasuo, who's like adjacent to some other characters. Like, and that's the hard part, is like, you not only have to get people who have never played fighting games to try a fighting game, and like, a lot of it's going to help where it's like, oh my God, I fucking love Yasuo, I'm just going to play Yasuo. Like, that's easy, right? But like onboarding even just like new people, where it's like, you have to find 2 characters that you really like. And that's hard. Mm-hmm. That's really hard sometimes. And they have to work together, which makes it even harder. Like, this is the byproduct of like tag games, that like, when there isn't enough variety, like that's why Marvel's so fun and so funny, because you're like, this guy topped playing who? Like, that's the best part
like
of the game.
The weirdest team you've ever seen. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, it makes me a little nervous. I think if they get enough time to cook, it's awesome, but I'm genuinely nervous about that.
Yeah. And I guess without going into too much detail, what I've heard is they're being very stringent about balance and making sure characters feel good and are high quality and are balanced before they get released. And while that is great, theoretically, and literally, it is great to have that. And it showed itself in the beta. All the characters felt like they did something. Mm-hmm. And they did something unique and well. The downside of that is you only have 10 characters, and characters take a long time to release.
Yes.
Because they have to go through such a rigorous testing period.
Yep.
And so at what point do you have to start sacrificing this idea of like perfect polish and perfect balance to keep people playing your game?
Exactly. Yeah, I think that summarizes pretty much our feelings on 2XKO right now. I'm excited to try it, but I think I'm now reaching the point of cautious optimism, where I'm getting more nervous about it. So we'll have to, time will tell, right?
There is the beta coming up on the 18th, which I should be in, so I'll be able to speak about it a little bit, at least from a player's perspective. And I was in the last one as well.
Nice.
But again, like I think the game is rock solid.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I think the game is rock solid in terms of what they made. What was there was great. The changes that they made have made it a little bit more beginner friendly. I think that'll be great too. The game looks crispy. I imagine it'll still feel crispy. My actual concern for the game is, how the fuck are you going to sell skins for 10 characters? Because that's where the money is made.
I don't know. I don't know. I hope they're cooking. How are you going to convince
people to buy skins for 10 characters, man?
I'm going to say one thing, and then we're going to immediately, hard cut from it. I don't know how they're going to sell 10 skins when they keep firing and rehiring artists every 6 months. That's my one shot at Riot that I'm going to take. I do look forward to that game, and I'm excited to try it again. I didn't get to play a ton of the first beta, but I think it'll be really cool, and that'll be pretty dope. But yeah, to continue the speedrun, the Nintendo Direct happened. The Nintendo Switch is coming out. It's coming out in fucking June. I am fucking broke. We're all brokies right now. It looks awesome. Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, base as fuck. The big thing we're going to talk about, though, is not the price. We're going to talk about the fact that fucking Smash is not actually being worked on right now. That Sakurai just spent the past 4 years making fucking Kirby Air Ride 2, which is so goddamn based, actually.
It's so funny. And then he also shot it like a Smash trailer.
Yep, he knew. He knew. He knew exactly what he was doing.
I literally, when I was watching that, turned to my partner and said, "This is Smash, or Sakurai is working on some fuck ass Kirby game. I knew it was one of those
So
two things.
good. So good. So good. Yeah. I'm personally very excited. I love Kirby Air Ride. It's actually a game. It's probably one of the most common games that I've gone back and played again, whether it be with friends or even on my own. I'm excited to see the quality of life changes that have gotten added. You know, removing things like spinning your stick to have to spin. It'll probably be like an option to have like a button, like stuff like this to evolve the genre, because that's always like the thing that Nintendo does is like we'll bring something back and do a sequel to like evolve it. And I can't wait to see what the new gimmick is, because that's the coolest shit.
Yeah, and you know Sakurai is going to come with something.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
My
like
man
he's
is
not
the chef of chefs.
He's not the type of guy who's going to release a game and it's just going to be like whatever the fuck. Like,
yeah.
If he's making a Kirby Air Ride 2, like there's something in there that is going to push the genre and push what he thinks Kirby Air Ride can be.
Yes.
And as much as you might agree or disagree or whatever with Sakurai, like he is very reliable for that sort of thing.
I want every listener, everyone in chat, and Blair, you too, I want us all to put our hands up. We are going to get a upwards of 20 to 50 person city trial battle royale mode.
That would be so fun.
To fucking happen.
So fun.
The map will be massive. It's going to happen. It has to happen. There has to be some chaos mode or like goofball race mode with like 20 people. They gotta do the goofball shit. That's what makes that game so special. Is like, you know, in Korea we had city trial and like that whole like finagle, right? But like top run or whatever the heck it was called, top ride, and it's like the goofy like you were playing with like the joysticks, like, and it's the top down. Like I want to see the silly. I want to see the silly, not just Kirby Air Ride with better maps and new carts. I want to see the goofy shit he comes up with, because he's so good at that. He's so good at that.
The secrets and stuff too, right? Like part of what made City Trial feel special was all of the like weird shit that you found.
Yeah, like the events
while doing it that the game just didn't explain.
Yeah, the events and Dragoon and Hydra. Like I want more.
Yeah,
I want
so
more.
Sick.
I want Meta Knight to spawn and beat my ass, dude. I cannot wait. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so awesome. I cannot wait. But yeah, that shit's coming out. We're all broke and the tariffs are going up and it's going to cost $800 US. I've accepted it. We're L across the board. Good luck, Canada. Y'all are. Yep.
It's already $800.
That's it. I don't think we really have to say more about that. But I'm excited and I'm going to do my darndest to get one.
I will not be buying one on release.
Yeah, I get it.
We will see later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think the last thing I want to say about this, just as we kind of close out the Nintendo Direct, and like, again, the games look good.
Yeah.
Right? You know Mario Kart World is going to fucking slap. You know Kirby Air Ride 2 is going to fucking slap. The DK game looks like it's going to fucking slap.
Yeah.
Nintendo is good for it. When it comes to those things, Nintendo is always going to be good for it. But it's pricey.
It's a little expensive, but that's just kind of the world now, right?
It's interesting because, you know, Sakurai has not been quote unquote working on Smash. He's been working on Kirby.
Yeah.
Does that mean a new Smash is being made, not being made? It's hard to say.
Yep.
I personally would be very surprised to not see a new Smash release in 2026.
Oh, yeah.
Not to say it's not impossible, but that is where kind of my estimate for where I had it. And considering the cash cow that game is, and the fact that a remaster was not announced, means that they have something cooking.
They're doing something. Something's going on. I mean, it was publicly known that Bandai Namco was hiring a project with Nintendo like 2 years ago now. Like they're doing something.
They're doing something.
I don't know. We'll find out in due time, I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised if we got news by the end of this year. I would not be surprised at all. So Smash isn't dead, but right now we just gotta wait. That's it. That's literally it. And
I'm hoping they pulled the trigger on a hard reboot.
Me too.
Give me new Mario, new Link, new DK, new Samus. Like, give me all the new shit. Give me new Pokemon, new, like, again, like, cut all these fucking characters. I do not need all these fuck ass characters in the next Smash game.
You don't like fighting Duck Hunt?
Give me a tight 30.
Yeah, I could go for 30. I think 30 is a good number. But you're saying you don't like fighting Duck Hunt in the year 2025?
I don't like fighting Duck Hunt. I don't like fighting Mr. Game and Watch. I don't like fighting Rob. Sorry. Sorry.
Hey,
I'm fucking
so much
tired of
hate
it.
in your heart. Yeah, no, I
do.
get it.
I
get
really
it.
do.
All right. That's enough Nintendo. That's enough Smash. I did not prepare any media of the week. Guys, I'm a fucking degenerate. All I did was coach and play Rivals all goddamn week. I didn't do anything at all. I'm behind on my anime. I am such a degenerate this week. I don't remember anything I watched on YouTube like at all this week. I watched like Yu-Gi-Oh shit in the background. I was not a human being this week with the Olympia release. So this is all
Okay.
you this time.
I'll do two then.
Yeah.
I can do one for you, one for me.
Okay.
My big shout out this week is not something that was revealed this week necessarily, but it's something that I just love to talk about and I feel like more people need to know about, but is Returnal, and by extension the game that just got announced called Soros.
Yes.
Which is the Returnal sequel by House Marquee. You could not believe how fucking excited I am for this.
Yeah.
I think Returnal is in the conversation for the best game of all time.
It's your baby.
It is so good. And people haven't fucking played it. They haven't. It's messed up. Like the story is amazing. The gameplay is amazing. The loop is amazing. Like everything about that game is tight.
Yeah.
And the aesthetic's amazing. Like I'm planning on getting a tattoo from that game. That's how fucking good it is.
Yep.
And so when I was like waiting, like what are these guys gonna do next? It's been years.
Yep.
They finally announced it. It's a game called Soros. And again, it's not Returnal 2, but it is this like spiritual successor to Returnal. It's gonna have a similar gameplay loop. And the premise of it, just to like very quickly get into it, is basically this guy is on a planet that keeps like going through this like devastating eclipse, and like the eclipse is like the calling of these like demons and monsters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And every time he like dies or whatever, goes back to just before the eclipse happens, a little bit more prepared. So it's got that roguelike loop.
Yeah.
And you kind of like prepare for this oncoming eclipse that you know is about to happen.
Cool.
And I just, let me tell you, if this game is any fraction as good as Returnal is, it is easily going to be my game of the year.
Yeah.
And if it is somehow better, it'll be the best game of all time. Like it is. People need to check out this franchise, and House Marquee as a developer in general, because their games are great. But Returnal in particular is a very special game where what you get from that game, you just don't get elsewhere. There's no other games like it. And so as like Soros comes out and they start to like dig into it, I'm very, very hopeful that it is super good. So that's my one big recommendation is check out Returnal and keep your eyes peeled for Soros as they reveal more about it.
Hell yeah. No, I can tell you guys that she has been telling me about this game since the day she first played Returnal, and I've not heard the end of it, and I have not played it yet. And every time we're talking about games, she's like, yo, have you heard of Returnal? And I'm just like, here we fucking go again. Another hour call of me listening to her talk about it. It's awesome, though. It is a very cool game. It's a very cool game. Definitely one to recommend for sure. Yeah, I think that's your baby for sure. So definitely check that shit out, guys. I'm
begging you to try it. I'm begging you to try it.
And if you do try it, let us know on Twitter or be sure to go into Nurse's stream and let her know that you tried it, because
I'm begging you to talk to me about it. I'm literally begging you. I need somebody to talk to about it.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's everything.
We did it.
We're done. Episode 2.
Amazing.
Woohoo! Yeah, guys, as always, I'm Zeke, Coach Zeke. You can find me at ZekeWare on Twitter or on twitch.tv/Zeke here.
I'm Nurse. You can find me at /Nurse on everything. Twitter, Blue Sky, Twitch, all that good stuff.
On Truth?
Not on Truth, thankfully. You can't find me on Truth.
Not yet.
And make sure, if you want to keep up with these episodes, subscribe to Cast or Curse on YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, wherever you kind of get that
Yes.
stuff. And we'll be doing them live here as we do 100%.
Yeah, be sure to check us out on YouTube and now Spotify as well. That has been set up so you can look us up on there too. Thank you all for listening, and we will see you all next time.